More details began to surface about the cult and its leader, Marshall Applewhite. The main detective on the case was Rick Scully.
We need to treat this as a homicide scene.
That's Scully in the yellow jacket.
Inside here are 2 sets of bunk beds for a total of 4 beds and 4 bodies.
Today, the mansion no longer exists. The street has been renamed, but what happened inside of that home will never be forgotten. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And again, you can catch Diane Sawyer.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the news story. Look back at the 26 years ago now. Now let me show you we're going to share some of the, what they were actually talking about. Marshall Applewood, in his own words, what they were trying to.
I just want to say this before you play that on regards to the first clip. You notice he said the police said in a calming voice, we have 39 bodies. Now, and you think if somebody found like 30 violent bodies, like, oh man, there's 39 bodies here, they're all chopped up, it's crazy. But how orderly, them people was all facing the same, they all were wearing the same thing. They were facing the same direction. They left willing, it was a serene or a peace in there. Because of course they didn't, when you do die, there's the 2 ways that you die honorably is either an instant death, meaning you don't go through any suffering, or a peaceful death like in your sleep or something. Those are the 2 honorable ways of death if you must die. Since we're in a time of the removal of death and whatnot, and we take on a light body or celestial body, as the brother, what's his name, Brother Sanchez. Well, I've heard other people say in the Bible is celestial. I think they said in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, it talks about a celestial body or whatnot, because the Christians know a little bit about the new heaven on earth and whatnot, but yet they trying to go die. If y'all supposed to be, if y'all's Jesus, just think of this shit. If y'all's Jesus is coming here to put heaven on earth, why the fuck y'all niggas trying to die? Why y'all eating ham hocks and spam and chicken lips, and y'all niggas just dying over a damn chicken lip bone? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when your own Lord said he gonna come here and make heaven on earth. Explain that. Anyways, I just wanted to iterate that he said in a calming voice, there's 39 deaths. That's profound.
Right. And then that's a good segue. I'll build on what you're saying, brother, because what you're about to hear is maybe a day or 2 before they actually deleted themselves, and they're talking so calm about they accepted what they're doing, and they're gonna the leader Marshall Applewhite is gonna talk about what they think about Earth and why they want to leave it.
You know what's missing? Before you play that one, you know what's missing? Suicide. We're gonna get into language too. The word suicide means to pursue the other side.
Yeah.
There's some of us who tasted a time in history in slavery that took death. The Indians took death over slavery. Certain other individuals, it was either slavery or death. Some people willingly chose to die. They knew they were going to die, but they said, before I be a fucking slave, I'm going to die. I think what humanity has lost themselves is trying to judge a person. If a person has a free will, a free choice, what you're hearing from these people that you're going to play, brother, is them giving their own free choice. They're leaving on, they're going to explain to you why they made in their decision, their free will, their own life, why they want to go, not why the fuck you think they should stay. They're telling you why they believe or they see on their free will they want to go. So that's all.
Right. There we go.
And leaving this world just on the tail end of that window, if I can speak of it that way. Now, we feel that the planet, the life forms on the planet,
What in a timber, baby? This all out, she don't got no shame. Who should I give my love? But should I leave this pain? 1 out of 5 and 1 out of 2. What did eyes I really owe? 1 out of 5 and 1 out of 2. She wanna be like me, I wanna be like her. If anyone touch my baby, I'm taking that boy off the earth. Yeah, wiping that boy off the surface. Yeah, spitting on top of his hearse. You think that he is bad, boy, I turn your skin to a purse. Yeah, turn his ass into a Birkin. Selling it like it's my merch. Got him writing his name in cursive. We putting that boy in verse. We fucking around like nurses. Flying around like birds. Smack it up, hit the way they do. If any boys are curses. What in a chamber, I bang. This all out, she don't got no shame. Who should I give my love? But should I leave this pain? 1 out of 5 and 1 out of 2. What did eyes I really owe? 1 out of 5 and 1 out of 2. Stand on the top like Chewy. Whatever I say they do. And I've been on both sides. I was down there too. They had shit to lose. And I was praying I do. I was praying I would one day. I was praying I do. Breathe and take it all in. Take it all in. Yeah, come alive for the city of God, the city of sin. All my peace got lost and tears I cried. They rolled off of my skin. If they catch me right now, they got no case to put me in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Toss me like Alonso. Whoa, 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 whoa. So far, too far gone.
Warning: the following video contains violence, gore, and traps. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's going on, NPCs? Gabriel Carbo back at it again on this rainy, sunny day here in the real Shaolin, Taiwan. How's it going, everybody? Today's episode is very important on many levels, especially on a practical, physical level. Today's episode is entitled Prolonged Fasting 3.0. What happens if you don't eat for 3 days? Yeah. Highly recommended episode of Benjamin. Go ahead, watch. How's everybody going? My little brother was the big wisdom. Machine Lies the God. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. None of your business. 1838. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Imperious. How's it going, fam? Good to see you with your little trickster way. Big trickster way. Everybody in the building, all the ninja watchers. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back to life, back to reality, especially with this fasting stuff. It's a practical thing that my brother Shadow Buddha, not the Shadow Buddha in the ethers, hit me on this stuff yesterday. Everybody knows that, well, everybody that knows a little bit about me anyway, knows that studying astrology has been something that's been a part of my life for a minute. At one stage, it was very predominant and a top priority, and not so much now, but studied the Western astrology, but he was introducing some of the Vedic astrology to me, the Hindu astrology, and boy, the stuff I was looking at on my chart blew my mind. Paradigm shift, big time. Almost as big of a paradigm shift as taking one of these 3 to 5 day fasts can do for you. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Definitely later on in the week we will. But today we're talking about fasting in the physical and what happens if you don't eat for 3 days. And I'm definitely beginning to see that prolonged fasting is the ultimate metabolic reset that they don't want you to know about. Who's the they? The so-called social engineers, Islamic sorcerers, the bad guys, who may even be trying to do good. We don't even know. The point is that the secret cellular cleanup is prolonged fasting. And we're going to talk about how it can reset your immune system. And probably to your mind as well, and your spirit. Give you that boost that you've been craving and whatnot. But shout out to the chat. You got something to say about fasting? Let me know. Hopefully you've been on a fast. Every day you're technically on a fast. When you wake up, you break your fast. Your last meal is probably the most important meal of the day if you eat more than one meal a day. And that's because at the end of the day, when you eat, you don't eat for 8 hours. When you're sleeping, supposed to be sleeping. So that's when your body can repair itself and whatnot. And the propaganda and the marketing and the gaslighting of the consumer, these food companies, right? And pharmaceutical companies telling you that you have to eat, particularly Kellogg breakfast cereal, you have to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. Now, granted, depending on what you're doing in the morning, like if you're doing some heavy ass strength training or a job that involves major physical activity, you should eat probably in the day. Act accordingly. That's the thing about this fasting stuff. A lot of these people will say, yeah, you need to, ask your doctor before you start fasting, right? First of all, if you ask your doctor, most mainstream doctors are going to look at you with the side eye, probably try not to get you to do it. But on the real, bro, like, they'll try to gaslight you with that. I mean, when you smoke weed or drink alcohol, do something to your body, or pop a Molly, right? Do you consult your doctor before you do that to yourself? No, you don't. Why is it that when you do something bad to your body, the so-called doctors or health professionals, they don't tell you to consult a doctor? But when you do something good for your body, like fasting, they tell you to see a doctor. They'll make no sense. Yeah. But today we're making sense. Today's show is Prolonged Fasting 3.0. What happens when you don't eat for 3 days? What's up, Seymour, my brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. Popping Seymour. I think it's 12:45 in the AM tonight, Eastern Time, Standard Time. Seymour will be having a broadcast, and it's a good one. It's an important one. We have CCM, as we call him, as he's known, as very important, highly practical wisdom builds over there on his channel. And later on in the broadcast is what's the real agenda keeping black men and only black men arguing online. Fascinating, important subject. So shout out to CM tonight. Check out his broadcast in the chat. Yeah, man, we here. Break fast. You got it. Yeah, you break your fast. Okay, when you fast. Yeah. Dr. CM. I love my penis, Imperious. The something interesting I learned was about Aries yesterday. In the Vedic astrology, I'm an Aries rising. My wife's an Aries in the Western Babylonian Shadow Buddhas with Aries. All the Aries around me. Mentors have been Aries. Just in case it's Aries, all that. And I learned something interesting. Like Aries, interesting enough. Of course, they're the first of the zodiac right there. Spring into life, and I'm learning that like if you look at them in general, it's a childlike energy that's very inquisitive. You know, they're under the curiosity power lit, mind power lit curiosity, right? And when you're curious, sometimes and childlike, people try to take advantage of you. Like all the weirdo predators, some of them try to take advantage of the children, right? Or people with childlike ways of doing. And in doing so, Aries set themselves up to be very vulnerable and taken advantage of. And I think that's why the Most High, the Supreme Being, gave them the power of war. Mars is their planet, and the ability to fight off anything, right? To defend their innocence and whatnot. So that's something to remember sometimes in general when we're talking using these energies. Shout out to What's the Matter You? For me, it's more like prolonged slowing. Yeah, because you're slowing everything down when you fast. Right? When you realize, are you really a person?
Last time, you remember, the trustees of What's the Matter You were wondering how to keep their college from going bankrupt.
How about giving an honorary degree to Danny Warbucks?
You ninny, he's only a make-believe character.
We're real?
We're real. Are you, like I said, are you a person? Really think about that. I'm going to ask you that question every time I see you guys. What is a person? Think about it. It's a persona. It's the mask, right? So yeah, man. So today we're talking about prolonged fasting, but also too, most importantly, when you pair it with a nutritious diet, because you gotta have that nutritious diet after when you refeed, or you're just gonna self-sabotage yourself and you're gonna be yo-yoing, as we call it, going back and forth. Back to your old ways of putting toxins in your body and whatnot in the food. So all that resetting you were doing, all that natural human growth hormone you were using when you were fasting, that you got when you were fasting, it's gonna be like, the gains are gonna be lost. You dream about being a real boy someday, like Pinocchio. Come back, are we fast? Yeah. Burn, baby, burn. Yeah. So y'all see it, that how we live in this system of body. It's pretty self-sufficient when you leave it alone and give it the nourishment it needs. But the system we live in, the world we live in, some say the beast system, is really designed to treat symptoms with lifelong subscriptions to medication, while our body's built-in self-cleaning oven is completely ignored. So I wanted to look at with you guys the science of what happens when you stop feeding the machine, and how this free therapy is the ultimate threat to the status quo. Y'all want to talk about like bucking the system revolution? Let's talk about evolution, man. So by the end of this live, you'll probably have a better understanding of how the biological timeline of how a 3 to 5 day fast combined with this healthy diet after, or lifestyle, it won't ruin your progress how to do it safely, because you can do all this the fasting and whatnot, but you're not necessarily going to die from it, whatever. But like, and the only thing that's going to die is your old cells and whatnot that you don't need. But you can definitely make it easy on yourself if you do it the right way. And there's definitely a secret, so-called secret. It's not a secret, really. Pharma model that they use that definitely goes against evolutionary biology, right? Yeah, you like these comments, huh? So hopefully you're learning something, or you can add to it. Or there's definitely a profit margin that the big pharma misses out on when you don't eat. I think modern medicine it has its place, especially if you have like some traumatic, like epic infection, or maybe if like you were diagnosed with like those chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, or even inflammation in your system, right? But come on, bro. So many people have stopped those things and healed themselves by fasting. Think about, like, from an evolutionary context, how our ancestors didn't even have refrigerators, or definitely didn't have in and out 24/7 drive-thrus. They lived in a cycle of fast or famine, right? Or the way I learned it, you're the snakes. Look how snakes eat. They eat like once a month about. They kind of gorge themselves from that big meal, and then they're cool for at least 3 to 4 weeks until the next meal, right? If you really take an honest look at our bodies, they're hardwired to thrive and clean up and repair during the time that you're not eating. And especially like back in the day, some of the ancestors, when they had famine, feast and famine, that's what you say, right? So when they had the famine, their body was re-up and cleaning itself up. But like when you're eating the 3, 4, 5, 5 meals a day, you're constantly keeping your insulin high 100% of the time. And by doing this, you're shutting down your natural cellular or repair mechanisms. So, yeah. So when you're doing this fast, this 3 to 5 day fast, or I'll say 72-hour fast, keep in mind these things that are happening. This biological timeline. I'll walk you through it. We'll walk you through it right now together. I've done quite a few prolonged fasts since like 2018. The longest I ever did fast I had was 11 days, a liquid, just water with potassium, and also some sodium in there, Himalayan salt, and a little bit of magnesium. So basically, you're making your own electrolyte drink, so your brain can function in your heart. You can make that electricity and whatnot. So I did that for 11 days. Got good results. If anything, it was like also a level up in terms of self-development and pushing myself to the limit. Like I'm fasting and I'm looking at everyone else and I'm like, I can't lie. Sometimes I'm a snob in a sense. It's like under the David Goggins Act, like I'm fasting and taking care of what I need to take care of while these people are stuffing their feed bags. I'm healing up and I'm getting stronger than ever. I like running at 4 a.m. in the morning while everyone is sleeping. They're getting stronger when they're sleeping and whatnot. Okay, it's a little too loud. All right. I was jamming out in the music. Could be my fan too. It's hot over here. I'll turn it off like that. Okay, there you go. Yeah, man. We be spitting sometimes, and yeah, good looking out on that. Yeah, you said this is something you know very little about. Okay, we'll tell you some stuff about it. You conjured up machine line. So like at the so when you're fasting, the 72-hour fast, in order to reset and make the great reset, right? You have to remember that your brain is the one that
Any given Tuesday
is that has to convince yourself that's convincing all the other body parts basically to do this, because they're not used to this, right? They're not used to it. The liver, the pancreas, the stomach, the large intestines, the heart. They're not used to shutting down and not eating for so long usually, right? Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's an important, very important topic, because I mean we can have all the knowledge in the world, but if our body is not functioning at the top level, we're missing out on the gains and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. So like when these body parts, the brain has to convince the other body parts, we're gonna fast, right? And then probably some of them were like, I mean, I'm anthropomorphizing these body parts. They're like, no, I don't know if we can do it. I don't think we can do it. The brain's like, yeah, you can do it. Just mind over matter. Brain is the processor for the mind, basically. Yeah, and the liver is like, no, no, no. But what happens is the first 12 to 18 hours is what I call the metabolic switch. Is when you're entering what they call ketosis, and this is when the body runs out of all the easily accessible glycogen, which is stored sugars. See all those little dots? Those are glycogens, the stored sugars that are around. And then when this happens, this ketosis happens. This is the shift. It's like switching a hybrid car from using the dirty gas to clean, high efficient electricity. And usually they're eating that, right? They're eating the glycogen and doing their thing, But like I'm telling you, but after that 18-hour mark, they're like, there's no more glycogen, there's no more stored things, That's all like the last of it. What are we gonna do? Hunger's coming. It's gonna take us away, and the brain's doing nothing except meditating. There's hunger right there. Right? Look at him, a ghost monster of hunger. Right? The test is like, what's happening? We got no more glycogen. Right? What are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna get some health, man. We tell you to produce some GH, some growth hormone, and the growth hormone is gonna help you get through the hunger and whatnot, right? Human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is what Barry Bonds and them in the early mid '90s were using to get strong, right? The steroids, as they call it, from Balco Labs in the Bay Area. They shoot up the growth hormone, right? But you can make it when you fast. You feel it. It feels like you're on a runner. It's like, yeah, well, no, what are we gonna do? Yeah, it feels like you're on a runner, right? You snuffed us some dope, some good dope when you get that growth hormone when you're fasting. Like I feel like geeked up, right? and you feel it too. You feel all that, right? Yeah. So they give you that growth hormone in order to like tide you over, so you don't like completely fucking rage out or whatnot, or break down. So 24 hours is when there's nothing left. Your organs are probably starting to feel tired. Interesting enough that they're not being used as much, yet they feel tired, right? It's kind of like how your body's been pushing so hard, you've been working all day, and then you do landscaping or something, or construction or demo, and you stop working, and that's when you get tired. That's when you fall asleep. Same thing with the body. And this is when the 24 to 48 hour, what we call autophagy, the autophagy kicks in. And the autophagy is what I was referring to earlier when I called it the self-cleaning oven. Remember that stuff you can spray in the oven, that foam stuff, and it cleans the oven. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wipe it down. You don't have to scrub. It cleans itself, right? The same thing with the self-cleaning oven. Your body's literally revved up and creating this autophagy. And then as the nutrient sensors, they're called TOR, they quiet down, right? The body activates the autophagy, literally self-eating. So the cells act almost like a recycling plant, and then they identify the misformed, the retarded proteins, the worn out mitochondria, and the intercellular waste, poop basically, and starts breaking them down into fresh building blocks. So basically, like Pac-Man, the old cells get eaten by the new cells, in a simple way to put it. Thus, self-cleaning your body, right? Making you feel fresh and whatnot. So this is something that happens when you sleep, right? Lightweight, but you get the full effect when you get into this deep ketosis. It sparks the deep autophagy. The cells eating the old cells, right? Nothing is wasted, right? Nothing is wasted, right? And a lot of us have and the body starts repairing itself, right? A lot of us have a lot of toxins in there, and it's not the most fun feeling, I have to admit, when this autophagy is going on. Sometimes you feel bombarded with all the waste and whatnot while it's getting eaten. But it's for the greater good. It's literally for the greater good, right? Autophagy is in full swing at 46 hours, right? And your organs start to be feeling on cloud 9. And we're only talking about 48 hours, about almost 2 days, right there. You start, you start healing yourself. That's amazing, right? But here's the thing. When we get to that 48-hour mark, 72-hour mark, this is amazing. This is when the immune system reboots and the stem cells start getting activated. Like the stem cells are what make people who can't walk again, right? They grow everything, right? That's why they're so valuable. A stem cell can be turned into anything. In theory and also practice as well. So during this 48 to 2 days to 3 day mark, that's when your body really starts to reset itself, right? It's the ultimate reset. We talk about Klaus Schwab and them, the social engineers trying to manipulate you, the great reset. They want you to live in a little shitty apartment, or a tiny house with, eating like bugs or whatever. No, man, this is the real great reset, the ultimate reset. Ultimate is greater than great. So by day 3, the prolonged fasting, it prompts your body to break down the old damaged immune cells. Your immune cells is what make you healthy and fight off disease, white blood cells and whatnot. And this triggers your blood stem cells to regenerate brand new ones that are highly functional white blood cells. And this is once the refeeding process begins. Once you eat again healthy food, right? And we'll go over what's something good to eat, so you can keep your gains, right? And it's literally what you're doing with this reboot, cellular reboot, is it's a hardwire update for your immune system. Yeah, there's nothing better you can do than for your immune system than fast. Mark Twain, the homie, the great author, he said that he never used to get sick. When he got a cold or a fever or flu, he just fasts for a day or two, 48 hours at the most, and he wouldn't be sick anymore. Right? Remember this old commercial from Sudafed or something? It was like, you gotta feed a cold. I mean, they're making fun of the different wives' tales, what to do when you're sick, exercise it out and all that shit. But it's like taking medicine. But they're telling you to take medicine when in fact, just don't eat. I mean, especially for you lazy folks, lazy bones, that shouldn't be too hard, right? Yeah. I know it's hard when you have to work, or you feel like you're an active person, as you should be probably. But take a break. Do it on the weekend. If you fast on Thursday, by the time it's Sunday, that's 72-hour fast. A homie Sean, he was saying that he does a 3-day fast every month. He's about to do a 4-day fast. Shout out to him. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but here's the thing. Your fast can almost be like a failure if you don't have a healthy diet, because the trap most people is that most people fast for 3 days and then they celebrate by eating pizza, some processed carbs, or drinking soda. And this completely shocks your digestive system. Instantly, it reverses all the cellular benefits you've had. And it's a nuance to this, because fasting is only 50% of the equation. Benjamin, refeeding is the other half. So many people have just ruined their fast by gorging themselves on the refeed. And the refeed just means eating your meal, your first meal after fasting, which is breakfast, right? For a lot of people, right? So a solution you may use is just feed your newly regenerated cells with quality materials. We're talking in machine language, right? Because look at the fasting state as the demolition state, and then the refeed state as the rebuilding state. It's build and destroy, build and destroy. That's what we say in the 5% Nation, right? You got to build something. You want to build something, you got to destroy the old in order to make way for the new. So the demolition stage, we're breaking down damaged cells and proteins. But in the rebuilding stage, the refeeding stage, we're literally synthesizing new healthy proteins and structures, right? So in the demolition phase, the fasting state, we're lowering inflammation and we're clearing out cellular waste. Because inflammation is the big thing that a lot of the great minds of throughout history and even now tell you that 90% of your problems are inflammation and your sickness. And in order to control that, if you can control that, you can go a long way, right? So the demolition stage is, you're taking care of inflammation and cellular waste. But in the rebuilding stage, when you refeed, when you eat something new, we're repopulating our gut microbes with healthy fibers, right? And that could be eating like avocado, some good yogurt, some good nuts and whatnot, right? There's some base. You feeling fresh like that? Yeah. So in the fasting state, we can synthesize the insulin receptors, right? But in the rebuilding state, when we're refeeding, if we provide ourselves with the essential micronutrients like the proper vitamins and minerals, we're setting ourselves out to be up to be sufficient, super sufficient, and taking care of business, right? As you should, because the golden rule of refeeding is just as simple as this, right? So keep your first post meal fast meal light and something that's easily digestible and also has a lot of nutrients, nutrient dense. Um, think bone broth with its rich in collagen and electrolytes. Um, some of you have access to wild caught fish, not farm fed, right? Even fuck it, even farm fed. As long as you can get some fish that's not totally GMO'd out, right? You can also steam some non-starchy vegetables, like squash and zucchini, and uh, healthy fats like avocado. But please, please, please avoid sugar and refined carbs at all costs during your refeeding window. You don't want to get that bad bacteria fuel to grow back, right? And if you want to go, take it slow, and if you're kind of like hesitant or whatever, it's not going to hurt you. You can do it. You can be extra safe, right? Um, yeah, because come on, bro. Like TOS is not just words and stuff. It's also about keeping our viewers safe. The quote unquote medical safety guidelines um, can be seen as a good start for some things or whatever. Yeah, because you should do your research and stuff too. Um, so I'd say if you want to take it slow, a good way to start is maybe don't jump right into a 3-day fast. You can build it up to to a 16 hour, a 16 to 8 intermediate fast, um, and then you can do a 24-hour fast, and then keep attempting longer and longer fasts. A 24-hour fast is like, well, 24 hours. That sounds weird. When you eat, well, literally just means eating one meal a day, right? And hopefully, when you fast, your eating window is it's kind of small. You don't want to like my eating window is like 7 hours. No, I mean, try to eat your meal fast. That way you can go back into fasting. Like so, for example, if you eat at 11 well at 9 p.m. your OMAD, one meal a day OMAD, 9 p.m. Um, maybe shit, I'll be generous. Give me 20 minutes to 30 minutes to eat that right meal. Shit, some of us can eat like in 15 minutes, right? So, so you're basically you're fasting for 23.5 hours in that 24-hour fast, which is really good, right? That's a lot of time for resetting your cells and whatnot, and taking care of the waste. And you keep pushing that fast. See how far you can take it. Right? Yeah, it's all about information for sure. You say proper refeeds are key. I lost muscle from not having adequate protein. Yeah, you can definitely use muscle from not refeeding, having protein. But here's the thing. From what I see, and I've fasted and trained with some moggers, some like uh, really athletic, strong people, right? And they didn't really lose that much mass. You would have to be like I was thinking an elite bodybuilder or strength trainer for you to really notice the like long term the fast the muscle loss whatnot. I would say, but yeah, that's something to be aware of. So yeah, yogurt is a scam. Pasteurized. Yeah, also too it has a lot of high fructose corn syrup, the ones that they put in the stores and like Yoplait I used to like as a kid, strawberry. That stuff is not. It has a lot of sugar. All the probiotics are unavailed, right? Unless it's a company that re-adds Asophis and Balcus, etc. Pasteurization, which is kind of rare. Yeah, I think you can hit the fermented foods too, like sauerkraut and whatnot. I like that stuff. That stuff is good. Kimchi, right? Korean. Regret what to eat. What is that? Psychosporia? I gotta look into that. Tell me more about that. So yeah, you can work your way up to the longer and longer fast, and electrolytes are key. When we first started fasting, 2018, my family, we did the water fast. I told you I did like that. I did a 7 day fast, uh, and and my wife did a 21 day fast, or 21 or a month fast, something crazy like that, right? And she ended up getting pregnant like right after, you know, a couple weeks after that, and yeah, you drink water. Think when you just drink water, just plain water, you piss out your electrolytes. Yeah, you know, because come on, like even if you don't drink a lot of water, you're still getting water when you eat your food normally, right? And if you're drinking water with no electrolytes in there, you sweat it and you're peeing it out, and you're getting less and less electrolytes. So during prolonged fast, um, you lose essential salts, sodium, potassium, magnesium. That's an electrolyte. That's stuff they put in an IV for fluids, IV fluids. So drink some mineral water with just you can even just put a pinch of Himalayan salt or sea salt to avoid what they call it. We call it keto flu, right? Which is like headaches or dizziness, because that hurts and it can be discouraging and cause you to end your fast. But put that salt in there, at least that sea salt in there, and get some potassium chloride you can get on supplement stores to put in there. You get some magnesium. Some people put in baking soda a little bit in there. So you said it's a bacteria allergy on fruits and vegetables in America that's getting people exposed to diarrhea. Oh yeah. I saw the stories on that. Oh yeah, that's messed up. It's kind of like mm, not as high power as E. coli, which literally could kill you, right? But that's something to be worried about with their. They say they find that in the lettuce, right? In the packaged lettuce and some of the stuff at Taco Bell, even or some of the stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I just wouldn't eat. I would stay away from lettuce, packaged vegetables in particular, right? Yeah, that's what it mostly is in those bags of salad and whatnot. So I would stay away from that. Yeah. What do you say? You said tons of fermented foods, but not kimchi. Oh, okay. It tastes like. No, I like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they like literally the old way of doing that. You put it in the ground so it can bury it in the ground so it can ferment. Of course, there's no dirt in it, but yeah, that stuff is good, bro. Yeah, man. It makes it exciting because man, I don't want to eat like mackerel, sardines, and kimchi. They're probably good for you. I mean, like boring fermented food. I want to have a little spicy. Yeah. Fiery flames and furious faces. Yeah. Uh, so be careful though when you're and be aware, like pregnant women, someone who's breastfeeding. Medical advice. Sandra will say, you shouldn't fast. But my wife did that. She did that, breastfeeding when she was fasting. We were fine. Our son is super healthy. Then anyone with a history of eating disorders, be careful with that. You know, yeah. Actually, I've known people who've cured their eating disorders or anorexia and bulimia from fasting with support from people who have been there and done that. So people on certain medication, especially like insulin or blood pressure meds, the doctors, the so-called doctors, will call you. No, I'm not in disrespect them. They have their place. They'll say, you have to have strict medical supervision. But here's the thing: you'll see like people should fast only in fasting clinics they used to have. Well, that's because I think people would just drink water with no electrolytes, and they'd be driving and passing out because they're dehydrated. And this is like for me, like these 2 months off is the perfect time to do fasting and cleaning up stuff physically and mentally, right? So it's like I don't really have to do anything except uh, what I choose to do. I don't have to teach or lesson plan or deal with different psyches and whatnot like I usually do. I just have to, concentrate on my son, with my wife, and have fun doing stuff with them, right? So, yeah, I'd say, yeah, like for me, I'll just say this. One of the most powerful things I ever did was I did a 5-day fast, dry fast. Dry fast means no water. The only water I got was when I took a shower or brushed my teeth. And man, I felt like I was about to float off into out the ethers. After a while, you don't get hungry after the 3rd or 4th day. And when the dry fast is important because it literally gets your body start healing parts of your body that have been neglected for a long time that need healing. You give your chance to your consciousness to focus on those things. Yeah, because the power to heal yourself doesn't come in a bottle with the safety cap like the old Tylenol, right? It comes from giving your body the time and the space it needs to do what it was designed to do, which is to self-repair itself. Yeah. So I mean, you can break this down. This is a pretty good breakdown. Shit, I wish I would have heard something me speaking this 20 years ago. But hey, we're doing it now. So if you find this breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button and share the video with someone who's tired of managing these symptoms of managing their symptoms and said, let's find a cure. Leave a comment below in the actual on the restream when you watch this on the replay and the time travel, or in the comments right now. Have you ever tried fasting? And what was your experience? Let me know. Right? Let me know. Let me know. And hit me on the buy me a coffee, bro. I'm putting in work today, brother. It's just time is money. Yeah. I'll take the stream. I appreciate you guys for building in the chat. You guys have been amazing. Shout out to the What's the Matter You and none of y'all business 1838. The Machine Lies, CM, Imperious. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. So hit that StreamYard link. All right. Tell me about it. Let's talk about it. We got some stuff. I know on my Instagram I was geeking out on fasting. Yesterday, I put that in there. Came up with some good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Let's see, fasting. Prolonged fasting. Because a lot of times when you put fasting in, on a search, it comes up with some, intermediate fasting. Kind of like with me with psychedelics, like microdosing. That sounds cool, but what are we doing? Prolonged fasting. Hey, you gonna do me like that on Instagram? This is a really bad search to have on here. God damn, on the computer. All right. They run faster on purpose here. We'll do this. I get this straight. Let's watch some of this stuff. The levels are faster, huh?
Today, we're walking through the 6 stages your body moves through when you give it a break from eating. You'll see exactly what happens at each stage, what benefits you get, and why a simple pause from food might be the most underrated health tool available. Let's start where every fast begins, and it's a place most people completely misunderstand. The first shift happens while you sleep. Picture your body as a house with 2 power sources. There's the main grid, which is the food you just ate, and there's a giant backup generator sitting in the basement, which is your stored body fat. For most adults, that generator almost never gets switched on because the main grid is always running. Around the 12-hour mark without food, something quiet but important happens. A hormone called insulin finally settles down. Insulin is basically the gatekeeper that decides where the energy from your food goes. When it's active, it locks away fat and tells your body to keep using the food you just ate. When it drops, the lock comes off and your body finally gets permission to reach into those fat reserves. Here's what trips people up. You might think that if you stop eating dinner at 8 and wake up at 7, you fasted for 11 hours. Not quite. The fasting clock doesn't start when you swallow your last bite. It starts when insulin finishes cleaning up that meal, and a heavy dinner with pasta, bread, or dessert can keep insulin busy for 3 or 4 extra hours. So that 11-hour window might really only be 7 or 8 hours of actual fasting. The easy fix is to stop eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. That alone lets your body cross into this first stage while you sleep, giving your digestive system a real rest and letting blood sugar settle into a healthy groove. Once that gate finally opens, your body gets curious and starts looking around at what else it can clean up. The internal cleanup crew arrives. Somewhere between 14 and 16 hours, your cells notice that no new food is coming. This is when one of the most fascinating processes in the human body kicks in. Researchers call it autophagy, but you can just think of it as an internal cleanup crew.
Hey, what's going on, God? How's it going, Machine Live? What's up, my brother?
Yo, blessings.
Yeah, good to have you, man. Good. Got an important topic right here, man. Fasting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a huge topic.
Yeah.
And
reminds me of I started watching that Wu-Tang Saga show.
Right.
And then the first episode is called "Can It Be That It Was All So Simple Then?" And that's what it seems like for fasting, right? It's like, duh, right? You know what I mean? Like it's this is thing that the Most High gave every animal on earth the ability to fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they said cleanup crew, right? It's nature's cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm. Tell them, man. Yeah.
Right, because we're always consuming things, and like the thing is that consumption is death. It's synonymous with death. Right, and people don't really see it that way, right? They think, well, you eat things and then you grow, right? But this is something I was going on sort of the other day that growth is sort of death, right? That we appreciate growth, we appreciate life, right? But we wouldn't really appreciate it if we didn't grow. Right, and B, right, we didn't have anything, no sort of mystery to look forward to. We'd have no triumph in the small window that exists, that is our life, right? So it's like growth and death, right, are kind of like necessary processes, right? And otherwise things would just last, right, and life would just last. And it would kind of be this sort of spiritless affair. I think of the sort of infinite amount of boredom, right? If one just sort of lived forever.
Yeah.
So I think this, so I think of this, yeah.
But keep going, yeah.
Oh no, just saying, just saying, like sort of this idea of simplicity. and how accepting the idea of growth and not trying to consume things and not trying to always try to live forever and enjoy every moment and all of that stuff. That stuff is kind of killing us, right? So it's trying to hang on to life, cling to life in a way that's destroying the world around us. Right? So that sort of the process of purification. Right? Purity is a religious thing, right? But it's also a practical thing because it's like, you purify your body, right? Because the body is the temple, right? And you purify your space, you purify your environment. You let nature heal itself. You stop planting stuff. You stop doing all that, right? So you can get more food out of it, right? So this is the thing, is like you let nature take care of itself. The cleanup crew comes back. Right, nature cleans itself up. Right, that's the truth about it. Right, so it's got fungus and bacteria and all sorts of things. That are just like the systems we have in our body.
Yeah, it all resonates, huh? It's like the same. Formula.
Same thing.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah. One could say like as above, so below, but it's like as inside, so outside, or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we got as inside as outside as well, huh? Yeah, this is None of Your Business. 1838 said there was a disease called consumption.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fuck. Whew. That was fire. Yeah. We're getting in the way of ourselves, man.
Metabolism is programmed cell death. Right. So maybe we could talk about that as well, right? Because the whole process of metabolizing energy consumption, right? You could look at one point of view is that the body is made for the intestinal bacteria, right? Because it's the intestinal bacteria that sort of grew a body, right? Just like somebody said, it's like the sexual organs that grew a body, right? Where like first it was just sexual organs, and then those sexual organs started to grow this appearance, right, to attract the mate, and slowly that appearance developed into an entire body. So it's like the intestine. So it's like the intestinal bacteria. It eats, right, or it creates poop, right? So it needs us to eat so that it could create poop, right? And we need to poop so that we can eat, right? So it's like without this bacteria, we wouldn't live. And it's like we subsist based on this bacteria. So it's like, is it the bacteria that has a body, or is it the body that has bacteria?
That's why I put my Zen hat on, my Buddhism hat, like both ways, right?
Yeah, that's why I like Buddhism so much, right? Because in Buddhist philosophy, they really talk about these things, right?
Yeah, right. So practical, right?
Yes, they call it dependent origination, right? So you can cancel out two causes by saying, well, is it this thing that caused that, or is that? It's kind of like,
yeah. I mean, some of the people, the Western, like those, Druid minded folks would be like, they call it negation or something like that. But that's so heavy, though. I like the way you said it, though. The way the Buddhists said it. Yeah. And I'm thinking too about like what you were saying when you're rapping, bro. Like, I'm living this life now. I've had about 18 days from not doing my regular teaching stuff, right? So I've had time to reflect and literally not be as active in the old ways, for the most of the year. And I'm doing the things I really choose to do. I mean, we all choose to do, but like consciously, thoughtfully enjoy doing too. And it is pretty simple. My life has been very simple. It's just like basically, like I said, like hanging out with my son, walking the dogs, going to the gym, looking at stuff online, laughing with my wife at some silly movie or something, reading. I'm reading these books that I have been sitting in my library forever. So, and I'm thinking about your life. Seems like you've set yourself up in a way. It seems like that, like where you literally get to do what you want to do, and on top of that, you're not putting a lot of pressure on the environment, huh? That's why I look at you from afar, like, and it just it works out, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was telling my wife earlier that, she was kind of distressed about the idea of what if, the things we believe are not true, then what? Right. And I was trying to explain to her it doesn't matter if they're not true. Right. We still gotta do what we gotta do. Right. Pretty much like for example, right, doesn't matter if we're wrong about, how we pray and all that stuff. Right. That really doesn't matter, right? Because we're not doing it so that we can achieve something from it, right? So I'm very careful to notice, right, where my energy goes, right, and why, right? So I'm a real cynic, and I don't want to devote energy to the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
And a good way to not follow people, right, not have to follow people, right, is to live a simple life and to be honest, right? That's to have sincerity, honesty, integrity, right, and simplicity, right? You don't need to follow people to live a good life, right? But if you want to have things and get ahead in the world and do all these types of things, oh yeah, you're gonna have to follow people around and sacrifice some things and all that. I don't need any of that. I'm not out for any of that shit, right? So I know what I'm here for, right? I know what I'm worth, right? And I know what I want, right? So there's a special a special clarity, right, that I possess, right?
Yeah.
Like a confidence, and it comes in, keeping my affairs very few, right? So.
Yeah, and you come across as, because of that, very genuine person, and matter of fact.
Yeah, thank you. You as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and also too fun. That's why you're fun too. Like we fucking joke, forever serious, and we talk about serious things and whatnot. Work out these problems and whatnot. But like you and I had some of the best laughs, and some of the other boys, and like, right, like it's just because like when you're genuine, you don't have to think of all the lies and how people uses their persona in order to get things, right? Because you're just the same person, right? Or the same being, I'll say. It's simple. It's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Other people will take it though sometimes. Like I don't know if like I know I've been trying not to, like when we have our dialogues, not to get into gossipy stuff, but I had to tell you about that what happened to me the other day. And when I was like, damn, bro, I just most of the time on Machine I've been pretty good, I think, and like staying away from that shit. But they caught me on that day where I had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But that's still me though, right? It's okay to get angry. It's okay to love. It's okay to laugh, be scared.
Yeah. We're the type of we're the type of people that the drama will just find us, even if we don't focus on it.
Yeah. Especially when we've been like not really even engaging in that stuff and doing the true work that we both do in our own way, right? And it's like the drama's like, we need to poke at these guys or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that I don't need to engage in the drama because the drama will find me the minute I'm at the peak of whatever I'm working on. It's just right before success, that's when things get really hectic. All right, so
I see that as like I'll talk about astrology. Like there's 28 degrees, right? And and usually it corresponds with the month, and towards the end of the month you'll get to like the 26th 28th degree, And a lot of times what happens is you'll be tested on that lesson for that month one more time. You've probably been tested the whole time, but there's like, it seems like the final midterm or the final exam is that 28th degree. And maybe that corresponds to what you're saying about, like, you know, when you're about to hit that tipping point of success, you get tested, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you worthy of it? What do you think's going on there?
Yeah, that's funny because like every like 19th of every month, I do a little self-check-a-rooney, right, or whatever. And I sort of check myself, and I talk to myself. I think like, are you doing the thing you're supposed to? And so on and so forth. So yeah, 19,
That's
every
smart.
month.
That's smart because like it probably saves yourself. You're giving your own midterm basically before you hit the final exam. So the final exam you do with your eye closed, like, because you're doing your own self-check, right? Your own self-work. That's
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got to hit it up on the 19th. That's how shit moves fast out here.
Yeah, it'll keep up on you. Yeah, 19. That's a special number too. I remember my Islamic Quran that my friend Mustafa gave me years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's the reason for me too. Yeah, for real. Yeah, the 19 number.
Yeah. Why do you think? Why is that the 19?
I just Alpha Omega.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah,
got a lot
yeah.
going
The
on.
1 and the 9. That's right.
Yeah, 1 and the 9. Yeah, yeah. 18 is powerful too for the same reason, right? Yeah, like a lot of beads will have, you know, like 18, like, or 180 or something like that. Right?
180, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
corresponds with the 182 days in the Bardos for the souls looking to do what it's going to do next in terms of some of that Tibetan Buddhism and whatnot.
Yeah,
bro, I like Shadow Back. He showed me this new Vedic calculator, right? Oh, it's not a new one, but I actually put my information in there, and it just helped me like just change the way I've been looking at things. It was perfect timing. I'm like, oh wow! And I think the reason why this Vedic is becoming more of a thing for not just, you know, people in the East, but also in the West a lot is because it seems so much more nuanced, and that whole thing about reincarnation and rebirth puts a whole new dimension looking at your life astrologically, and you know, and also physically for sure, but like, you know what I mean? Whereas the Western astrology, it's just, you know, this incarnation or whatever, because even like, that's what Abby was saying, like, let's just say you're not reincarnated or whatever, who knows, right? But either way, you could still learn and use that information.
Yeah.
Now, you know?
Yeah, I look at it as even if you're not reincarnated, you're probably still facing the same trials of like your ancestors and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably some truth to reincarnation even still, right? And I go like different places in the world, and I've seen the same type of person pop up.
Oh yeah,
you know, where it's like this guy have the same personality as that other guy, even though this dude is black and this other dude's, you know, like you know, totally different race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be like a black guy and an Arabic guy, or a white guy and a Chinese guy, but they have like the same exact personality, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
Even the same look too.
Yeah, the same look too. Yeah, and I'm like, what is that? It's like, do these people have like the same type of spirit or the same archetype or some shit?
That's the word archetype. Last show was on archetypes, and then one of my teachers, Jason Kafis, he used to call it tulpas. He used the tulpas thing with it. It's like, yeah, there are tulpas out there of these like models of people out there, and I'm sure they have their own nuances too, even though they may look and have the same mannerism as the people we know. But come on, bro, it's uncanny, huh?
Yeah,
like,
it's uncanny. Yeah,
it's uncanny. Shout out to CM for that. Yeah, like the video. Yeah, subscribe it when you like it, and also if you sub to the channel, make sure you do all. You get the notifications. I noticed that helps. None of your business says astrology is wild because it's based on astronomy, but astronomy changes you move about the planet, how you move. Yeah, yeah, man. I heard Richard Tarnas, this professor at my old university, talk about it. Philosopher, astrologer. He was saying that it's astrology is it's a spirit. It's astronomy with spirit, basically. Meaning, putting meaning to the things. She says that 19th is her day too, and the 19th is a day a woman conceives.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's
probably
19 bones in the human hand.
19. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the hands are wild, bro. The hands.
Yeah, hand is wild thing. Yeah, because
Wow. Yeah.
if you could think of like what the damage is done,
Yeah.
right? It's a huge amount of damage, huge amount of help. Right? As you think of like the helping hand, but like the hand is like, wielding either a pen or a sword or a gun, and you could think of a hand can do so many things.
Yeah. It can. It can do so much good or bad or neutral stuff. Not really neutral. That's why it's funny that every body part corresponds to a sign, astrological sign, and for hands it's in the arms it's Gemini. It's the lungs, hands, and arms, which is funny because I can get the lungs because Geminis can usually speak a lot. They like to talk a lot. They're good at communicating. So that makes sense with the lungs, right? But then the hands, it makes sense too, because you ever seen someone that likes to talk a lot too? They speak with their hands a lot sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like the tongue too, right? Like with the hands and the tongue and the lungs, it's like they got two sides, and that represents like the duality. You could hurt or harm.
Yeah.
Or or help or heal. It depends on how you look at the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And so much of our world it's kind of fragile in the sense that it's been made up by just using your mouth, talking. Everything's based on it, making mouth noises, huh? More or less. We call it language.
Yeah.
It's so fragile, right?
Yeah, that's another thing is the pen and the tool, how these things adjust to this idea of the hand and how sort of the machine is something different because you think of something that they want to perfect in robots, right? It's like how they grab things.
Yeah.
They want them to be able to grab shit, right? So it's like a big thing for them to have traction and the way they move their hands and the way they pick things up. It's a huge problem, right? So it's fascinating stuff.
And what's the problem even in duplicating in the AI, the early AI from a few years back? Remember the hands were always messed up,
right?
You can always weird.
Yeah, his brain to hand like movement, like they couldn't coordinate. Like someone's like looking at something and the hands moving with, how they, want to grab something that they're looking at. Like some shit would be looking at way over there, but grabbing something way over here, and it's like it looks funny as fuck.
Well, that's why even though like Montessori, we spoke on that like a few months back about there might be some weird people might hijack that, or she was on some different stuff, we'll say. But with that, I think some of the basic tenets are actually good for child development and stuff. And like for example, like one of their tenets is they want children to be able to work with their hands and not get ahead of themselves. This is why when people say like they don't want their child like when they're little toddlers and stuff watching too much TV or screen time, because their mind can't keep up with they can't keep up with their hands. But if they're working on like practical things like how to pour a glass of water or
well, that's the thing. It's like you see something move, right? And your hands don't coordinate with the movement of things like the way they do in the real world. That shit will probably cause Alzheimer's early onset, because it's like you need textures and movement to develop key memories and functions in your brain. So it's like, if you're looking at something like the most basic example is like if you're looking at like sex on a screen, but that's something that you intimately experience, like with your physical body.
Yeah.
then that type of dissonance that creates, or separation that creates in your mental and sort of spiritual and your emotional, the way those things are regulated, it'll probably be very harmful, right?
Yeah. You're out of touch with reality, literally. And then your imagination,
Right.
which is another powerful thing. It's like it's being used for some nefarious stuff, bro. It's not good, bro. But with that said, a lot of people don't talk about it, but that's the detriment of about like a lot of them are frustrated to be watching that porn palace stuff.
You cut out a little bit, so say it again.
You know, I said like part of the reason why men are so frustrated too is they be watching too much porn palace stuff, too much porn.
Yeah, it's got to do something where it's not coordinating the act of intimacy with the normal bodily functions, right? And that type of dissonance is causing permanent, probably psychological, emotional, spiritual harm, right? That'll damage, your ability to feel intimacy and so on and so forth, probably permanently.
Wow, that's a huge imprint in a bad way. Yeah. Last broadcast was his name? Craig was talking about writing. He likes to write instead of using the computer so much. Nana says spirit expresses through the hand and the handwriting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing. We could touch on is fasting of the eyes, right? Fasting of the mind, right? Fasting from technology, right?
Yes. Some of the people will talk about the dopamine fast, right? Because a lot of these electronics, they bring dopamine hits. Marilyn, our good friend Marilyn, she's my two favorite people. Shout out to Marilyn for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Many Non says many autistic people draw because they have issues with their motor skills. Probably got some good artists like that. There's probably a high ratio of autistic writers to anime creators, for example. Probably. I was just like making that assumption.
Yeah. And it's probably has to do with how they can coordinate better their motor functions with the way they think, right? Instead of being visual, right, thinkers and learners, right? Look at information, they connect information with their movements, right? And you could tell when where they have those ticks, right, that they're interpreting information through their movement, right? Because their ticks start up and stop at certain times.
Yeah. Machine. So you recommend a dopamine fast or a fast from electronics? It probably would do wonders, huh, for folks. We did that more.
Oh yeah, definitely. As I said, it corresponds with sort of fasting of the mind, right? Fasting of the eyes, right? It also corresponds with, right? Letting nature do its own thing, right? Letting the land lie fallow, and so that the soil can replenish itself, so to speak, right? So this is actually necessary to create fertile ground, right? And so on and so forth. So it's a as I began to talk about the metaphor of growth, right? So it's kind of like planting and tilling, your mind, in a way where you have to fast from these sort of pressure type situations, always stimulating, right, and so on and so forth. You need a certain bit of solitude, you need a certain bit of boredom, you need a certain bit of silence, you need a certain bit of quietude and nature and so on and so forth, right? You need to look at a tree and be alone and so on and so forth. That's actually necessary, right? And I don't think people see it as necessary, and so they're always engaged in, some sort of externalized pressure that always impinges upon, right, their senses, right? They're always consuming either visual images or contemplating doing something or going out with somebody or looking at their phone or thinking somebody's going to hit them up, and they don't have any concept of solitude. It's always moving from one thing to another because they don't want to face themselves, right? So they don't want to be bored. They don't want to be alone, right? If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company, right?
Right. And that was one of the things about my Vedic chart yesterday. It was saying like my one of the planets I think represents kind of what your incarnation is before this one, and it was more of seemed like a monastic type of person where I was in terms of like I'm okay with being by myself and whatnot, and contemplate the spiritual things and whatnot, and that's why I think that's a comfort zone for me. Being quiet, being by myself, I'm okay. I was the only child for 8 years before my brother was born, so I'm okay being by myself. Don't get me wrong, I like to talk and build like this and stuff, but I'm okay. But here's the thing: I think in the with the Vedic stuff, it was reminding me the fact that like that might how I feel comfortable, but sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and start. Instead of being so introspective, sometimes the physical is good too. Getting out there, going for a walk, if lifting weights is your thing or whatever, or hiking or mountain climbing, playing basketball, do that too. And I think that's something that I'm incorporating more in my life. But what you're saying about being out in nature, bro, it's a recharge, man. It's a recharge.
Yeah, even just outside. You shouldn't be afraid to go outside if you don't have anybody to do things with. It's just like, you should just face the world, right? Be comfortable in your own skin and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Non says I need a mind fast. I feel like my thoughts are becoming toxic. Yeah, that's definitely a time to slow down, turn everything off. Literally sit with yourself, huh? And see what happens. You'll probably end up doing just like the body that we're talking about, a cleanup, right? The cleanup crew will come and start eating away those toxicness things that were hanging around, right, Machine? But you got to give it time to do it, right? You got to give it time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people want to talk about meditation and stuff, but to me, it doesn't have to be so scary, like technical, right? It can just literally just be sitting with yourself, huh?
Yeah, there's no achievement in meditation, I think. It's just a daily process. I don't think there's any goal in meditation, right? So I think just focus on the breath and try to maintain stillness, right, in a posture, right? And I think like I kind of just sit with my back straight, right? I kind of focus on my heart chakra, right? That's how we do it, like in Islam, right? So you focus on the heart, right? You move your tongue to the roof of your mouth, right? And you put the tip of your tongue, right? Between your your two front teeth, right there, so that you could have it in a still position, right? And you put your eyes pointing to your sort of third eye there, right? And then as I said, you fix your posture, you focus on your heart, and you focus on your breath, right? And so on and so forth. So yeah, I think just doing that 10 to 20 minutes a day is very beneficial, right? And clearing out your focus, right? Not trying too hard to organize your thoughts or trying to think of anything or trying to perform any function with your mind, and just seeing what pops up, right? Or not. You don't have to pay attention to what pops up either. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just not being attached to it, huh? Yeah, I can see how that could get you locked in. That protocol you just said, with your tongue and then your eyes looking up, and then your posture and focused on your heart. You definitely would get you locked in, huh?
Oh yeah, I think after like 5 or 6 minutes, I'm pretty high. I don't know about y'all, but I feel pretty stoned, dude. No, definitely when I open my eyes, I'm like, whoa, I definitely don't feel the same as when I started. So
yeah, I would think that and that's kind of like you're speaking about stoned and stuff, like psychedelics. That's probably why it's for some people it's very tough. A lot of people, because it's the one it forces you to face yourself, huh? Or stop whatever you were doing. You know what I mean? It literally stops you in your tracks. You have to sit with it, right? Nonsense sitting with the self is very difficult for me and effective, and it affected my fasting. Really? Yeah. Interesting.
yeah, I noticed that boredom that sets in when you're fasting is crazy, right? Because you notice how much eating is part of entertainment or sitting down to eat, right? When you perform certain activities as a regular thing, so you notice those activities that you like to, say you might want to watch like a certain type of show or something like that, like while you're eating. Well, you notice that activity is not as enjoyable or something like that, so you notice like the sort of mental pressure and the boredom that sets in. You have to do something else with your thoughts, and then when you don't have food like coffee and stuff, you obviously notice your brain does not function as well, right? And that exerts a mental pressure. You see the other things that you need other than food, like sugar and coffee and water, and how they affect your mind. And yeah, and it causes a great sense of boredom because you feel the mental pressure from being like, am I really that weak that I need coffee or a cup of water, right? After just 8 hours, right? Like, I'm really that weak, but yeah, you are that fucking weak, try it out.
Yeah, it's true. Like the Buddha, his sitting under that Bodhi tree was going through pain and suffering physically, like especially when you fast too. And if you're a caffeine person with your tea or your coffee, a lot of times the headaches that we get after fasting, maybe for like 20 hours or something like that, it could be caffeine withdrawal in itself. You're so used to having that caffeine and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a huge issue for me. Your caffeine and sugar, huge problem.
Yes, that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when they do their fast, because he's big on fasting. They still are big on fasting, Nation of Islam. That he would say, just drink water and coffee, because I guess he's being realistic with it. You can still get probably a good reset even just drinking some coffee too. But yeah, that's a real deal, because our minds are always flying around, bro. Even if we're trying to do good, like it's not just like people are just consuming shit, Jerry Springer shit. Some people are trying to do self-help stuff and make themselves better, but you still need, even with that, you need to sit down sometimes, or you become this guy right here, Machine. Look.
You're tired, but do you want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? The pain of progress or the pain of regret? But no one's watching, gotta earn my respect. All along, it's just me versus myself. I know you're tired, but do
you know what I mean? That's like
yeah, that's a dude who should have sat on the couch that day for sure.
Like he means well with he means well with his his self-help stuff, but come on, bro.
Yeah, he needs like he needs to smoke a pound of weed, looks like.
Is that kind of scary though? Because most likely this guy doesn't do like meth or coke, but he's naturally like that. What is that?
Yeah, they need to inject like a syringe of Rick Simpson oil into that dude or something like that.
Oh, that sounds powerful, right? The Rick Simpson oil. That's some high-powered stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. So, would you ever do prolonged fasting, like multiple days?
I mean, definitely with water, I've done it. Right?
Really?
You know,
Okay.
just yeah, definitely 3 days or more. I've definitely had just water, right? So that's definitely happened to me. But I wouldn't say I was planning it, but yeah, it has happened. You know, under peculiar circumstances, and yeah, I mean, in terms of just fasting from food and water, I do that regularly. Right, so I do that regularly, like something like 16 to 24 hours.
Wow.
Right, I will regularly pull that off. Right, on the like twice a week on the regular. Right, so I do that. Right, yeah. Now that I've learned about your 3-day fasting method, you know, I may attempt it. Right, yeah. And I was telling my wife about your show, and I was you know, I mean, asking her if she wanted to try it. So yeah, so we may do it too. Yeah, I think you were doing it with your wife. So
Yeah. We've done it before.
Yeah. So we may do it too. So
right now, so hey, we can two couples, like, you know,
yeah,
some couples
exactly.
they'll go out to TGI Fridays, like the Machine Lives family and the Carbo family. We're fast.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's some righteousness, bro. It's cool, bro.
Yeah,
That's what's funny, bro. This is like real life, man. This is the real life.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm as real as it gets out here. You know, I put my name on a lot of these things, and I think you have too. So I think there's a rare few of us out here that have that we're actually not afraid of people.
Exactly, yeah. And then also too with these chat people, man. I mean, since we have 4 people in the chat, but it's like I'll take that quality, quality, right, over quantity.
Yeah.
Because you guys are the real ones, man. Nod says everything we do is health is literally dictated by the media machine. It can be, yeah. That machine is ridiculous. Yeah. It's probably manifested somewhere deep in the bowels of the earth, huh? It's like weird media organism. But
yeah.
Oh God, it's gonna be disgusting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was McLuhan or or somebody else who talked about consumption of media images, right? And how it could translate to a total change of your psychology. It's like when you're digesting certain types of images and thoughts, right? The point of certain types of propaganda is just to put you in a confused state, so you'll accept any type of information. Yeah,
it's like a shock, a primer.
Yeah, shock to sort of break down your moral barriers, and so there's all of these types of tactics where they'll make like a joke about like a type of religion or something, right? So you're willing to like bully a certain type of person, or all right, so you already feel a little bit, like they formed a pact with you and you don't even know it, right? It's part of the ritual, right? So this is the thing, is like you shouldn't allow yourself to just be spoon-fed images, right? Because that's what it is. You're spoon-feeding images directly into your brain, and you're digesting those images without your knowledge, right? And it's just like the things we consume, processed foods, where there's ingredients that we don't know that we're consuming.
I know, man. It's wow, yeah. And what they're doing, man. Even it's funny that even like the so-called, when you talk about those chemicals that you can't even pronounce, they're like 15-letter word, right? But like even the so-called semi-natural foods in yeast, in breads and whatnot, grains, or they can mess you up too much if you start fucking around with that stuff too much. Like you said about the sugar, man, that's a big drug, bro. That's
yeah. Yeah, there's this movie called Fish O Filet, right, where they look at these GMO salmon, right, that they grow, right, and they're like genetically modified, right, and they feed them these pellets with this toxic material in it, right, and the guy that's lacing up these pellets with this toxic substance that causes pregnant women to give birth to like babies with birth defects and all this shit. Like it causes babies to die. Like this chemical, right, that they were putting in these fish pellets was like killing babies.
Damn.
Right? And this guy that's putting the chemical in the fish, right, didn't even know what it was.
You didn't even know, huh?
He didn't even know what it was, like what it's called, like what it does. He's just there to administer this. Yeah, he's just there to put it in the fish. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of the fillet of fish, I remember Bobby Hemmett, he did some anecdotal research, and he was saying that how the fillet of fish, somehow he got to talking about it with somebody else, and they have this hypothesis that like the same type of chemical, the way it hits your brain is the same thing it does to like a crackhead when they hit that dope. Like it's hitting that shit, and that's why like people can be addicted to this stuff. They want to get away from that fast food shit, but they can't. Marilyn says the longest I've gone was 21 days without food, and I ran for 15 days. Wow, you ran still? Might have barfed after I stopped running when I got down to only being able to do a mile at the end, but I did it. See, that's the resilience of the human body. That's amazing. So why does that doesn't surprise me about Marilyn being able to do something like that? But wow, that's high powered. So you had this 21 days like my wife, but you're running. I don't think my wife was running. That is spectacular. Yeah. Mindless behavior. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, McDonald's 8 years ago. Yeah. McDonald's is crazy, bro. Crazy work. When they look at that place years later. Yeah. It's kind of sad that like the only thing that one of the restaurants that reminds me of home is McDonald's. Wish we had something better. But check this out, machine. This is another little quick breakdown about the 72-hour fast.
That burning kicks in.
Yeah.
What happens to your body when you fast? Let's break it down. At 12 hours, what happens to your body when you fast? Let's break it down. At 12 hours, your digestion rests and fat burning kicks in. At 13 hours.
I wonder what happens. Let's correspond this with the mind fast. I mean, not mind fast. That's a Freudian slip, maybe. Dopamine electronic fast. What do you think happens half a day of not using electronics? What could happen?
I think you're sort of, I think you start to daydream or something. I mean, you get your daydream abilities back.
Yeah.
Like that'll be a start to like, you'll get like another like a room in your dream world, right? It'll open up.
It's like decluttered, like from the show Hoarders.
Yeah.
Hours, growth hormone levels start rising. At 18 hours.
And the growth hormone's crazy machine. That's when I started feeling like I was talking about feeling geeked up, like you're on like dope or something. But it's natural, like growth hormone. That's why I like Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco used to take that, synthetic growth hormone. But our bodies naturally produce that when you fast.
Autophagy begins. Your cells clean out the junk. Glucose stores drop. Intestinal stem cells wake up. And GABA increases.
Yeah, I heard about that GABA. My friend swears by that. But yeah, it says the stem cells wake up. Those are like the building blocks, huh? It can be anything. They can turn into anything, the stem cells.
Right.
Yeah. And autophagy is the real cleanup crew right there. But yeah, go ahead about the stem cells.
Oh no, just saying it's epigenetics or whatever.
Epigenetics, yes. Yeah. At 24 hours, full-on fat oxidation and ketone production. Your body's running on clean fuel now. At 36 hours, dopamine spikes, feel-good vibes unlocked.
That's true, Mo. Once you get past like the the cravings of the headaches from the addiction and all that from what the sugars and the carbs and whatnot, you do start to feel a little bit happier and at ease. And you know what? You start forgetting about eating. Like you're not hungry really.
Yeah. And that goes back to Maryland, right? Where, they say, like, if you're running for a long period of time, you get high, too. So if you're fasting and then running, you're just high as fuck. So you can see, like, for 3 days, you won't even feel shit. Right? You're just, like, just going.
You just keep going and going and doing.
At 48 hours, stem cells start repairing organs and tissues, plus growth hormone skyrockets. At 54,
we eat too damn much.
What did you say, 52?
no good vibes unlocked. At 48 hours, stem cells start repairing organs and tissues, plus growth hormone skyrockets. At 54 hours, insulin sensitivity increases. Your body gets better at handling blood sugar.
So you start regulating your blood sugar, man. That's a weird feeling, bro. When your blood sugar's out of whack chronically, it literally feels like you wake up drunk, bro. I've had that feeling before. Like it feels like you have a hangover and you didn't, and all you did was maybe you drank some orange juice before you went to bed. But because your insulin levels are so out of whack, you can't regulate that shit. But obviously this puts it back. This is why like so many diabetics have cured themselves, machine, by doing fast. Like they don't want you to know, the pharmaceutical big pharma. They do not want you to do this stuff. Yeah.
At 72 hours, your immune system gets a full reset. What happened?
Damn. So if at 72 hours, 3 days, you get an immune system gets a reset. Marilyn and my wife did it times 7. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's wild.
Abby probably can beat both of us at fasting. The women are high, men are strong and all, but women do on another level too. Some of this stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting creatures, right? This is wild.
We eat too damn much.
Yeah. Could this man put a pass for someone in Pakistan? By the way he looks, you think?
Like that? Absolutely. But I think they'd be a little bit suspicious because he is a little bit like just way dark, right? They'd be like, "Are you like from India or what is going on here?"
Oh, so Pakistani natives are more fair complected?
Dude, they're more fair complexion than Indians.
I see. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you go to like South Pakistan, they're darker skinned. So it's like this the more southern you go, if you go to like the most southern part of India, they're really dark skinned.
Okay.
And so
we eat too damn much and too frequent and too big on those.
Yeah.
So we're backed up with uneliminated food. The average meal that you're eating, it takes 2.5 days for it to actually go through your system.
Damn, 2.5 days?
So a lot of what we call in today disease is toxemia, it's waste, it's garbage that's been sitting around in the system for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and it's just rotting us out. But our digestive system gets tired, and we can't process food anymore. So at my age, when I'm starting doing things like this.
Yeah, I actually saw the inside of my intestines before. I had a colonoscopy, and you literally see the inside of your intestines, bro. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I think the intestines is as tall as we are. Supposed to be as tall as we are. It's just so compressed and windy and whatnot.
What I'm doing now for the next 78 days, I am hydrating the body. I'm flooding it with liquids. So what is going on? All of the heavy, dense fat nuts and seeds or grains and beans and all these things that we've been eating that we haven't been able to burn and turn into sugar, these things have just been drying out in the body. Call it cholesterol, call it.
He seems like he's all amped up, geeked up in a healthy way, huh? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
kidney stones, you name it. We eat too.
It's okay to fuck up, but
This is
Okay. Yeah. You like that one guy, huh? Yeah. He's up in another way. You don't trust the fear porn, Marilyn? Yeah. There's a lot of that. Like these people that are against fasting. That shit's funny. Fasting is dangerous. Let's see what they have to say. Just to get the other side.
What?
I want you to eat 5 meals a day. Come on, I gotta get the Mayo Clinic. Eating intermittent fasting is cool and all, but we're talking about prolonged fasting. If they don't even come on, that should be common sense about intermittent fasting, right? Intermittent. It shouldn't be snacking.
Want to lose weight? Just don't eat, right?
We're hearing a lot more about intermittent fasting, and it essentially means the voluntary abstinence of food or beverage for a prolonged period of time.
Mayo Clinic dietitian Mikkel Bryant says while fasting
look at the eyes.
helps some people with weight loss.
What do you say?
Like, look at her eyes. And like,
Look at
she
that
looks,
lady's nose.
yeah,
Look
she
at that
looked kind of
profile.
cracked out, to be
Yeah.
honest. And right,
She needs
yeah,
fat.
I mean, yeah, I
Dietitian
wouldn't
Mikkel
trust
Bryant.
this lady to, like, I don't know, sell me anything
She's a-
really.
She's a dietitian. Look at her hair. How thin it looks up top. Look
Yeah,
at
she
Marilyn.
is a weird looking lady.
Marilyn or non than this lady.
It essentially means the voluntary abstinence of food or beverage for a prolonged period of time.
Mayo Clinic dietitian Mikkel Bryant says while fasting can be a tool that helps some people with weight loss,
Our body needs a given amount of nutrients every day.
denying your body of calories for an extended period of time isn't recommended for anyone who's physically active, pregnant, under 18, or with certain medical conditions.
Physically active. If you're physically active.
It should be everybody, right? Even if
I
you're
don't
old,
even know what that means.
old
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Well, in American style, if you're not laid up in a bed with bed sores, or you don't have a scooter, mobility scooter.
Conditions like diabetes. She says if you're considering fasting as a weight loss tool, make sure that when you do eat, you're taking in
Marilyn doesn't trust the eyebrows. She said,
quality
Yeah,
healthy
that kind of
ingredients.
thing.
Dietitian Mikkel.
Like, yeah, that is thinking like way like in I think because like they're just saying, well, you need calories to move. So they're like, if you're physically active, you need calories. I don't know. Super weird, but yeah, but I don't think the math on that checks out. Yeah.
I don't think so. She looks like a chola with those eyebrows. Mexican gangster girl. The math don't check out. The math not mathing, machine.
Or with certain medical conditions like diabetes. She says if you're considering fasting
The thing is, it's probably like those are actually the people who should do it more than most. Right? In order to reset themselves.
18 or with certain medical conditions like
Under
diabetes.
18. Under 18, the kids do it themselves. Like they'll play all day and maybe eat one meal in the day in the summer or whatever.
Says if you're considering fasting as a weight loss tool, make sure that when you do eat, you're taking in quality healthy ingredients, like the proper amount of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein.
Fasting may not be for everyone. It is worth taking a look at individual diet, your lifestyle, your behaviors, and seeing if there can be any improvements that can be made.
For the Mayo Clinic News Network.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they just had to make videos. Yeah, I think they told him like they paid him. They're like they said, look, make a video about anything. They're like, let's just make it about, you got to eat. And I don't know, like what a wild
weird shit. This is like this is funny. You know that show, The Doctors? First of all, would you trust a show called The Doctors for health advice? I don't know. I mean, doctors
Yeah, I
can do
know. Yeah,
stuff, but like for
yeah,
emergency,
that's like, yeah, it's like, do you trust your mechanic, all right, to like, you know, to like give you like upgrades, all right?
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
they have their lane. I mean, they definitely have their purpose. I'm not gonna just say like no doctors. No, I respect doctors and whatnot, but it's interesting like how somebody can just have an alternative way of doing things, and they're automatically shunned. Like this video right here, we'll watch a little bit of it. This is the guy Cole Robinson, the snake diet, and he's part of the reason like why I got so motivated to fast, because he wasn't just some dude that didn't wasn't like inactive or whatever, just fast and laid around. No, he was an active strength trainer. He was like an amped up guy, and this is the doctors trying to critique his fasting
I'm a
program.
board-certified physician nutrition specialist. I'm going to start by saying that some of what you say is actually, there is a very bit of truth to everything that you say. So
A very bit.
the data on
Yeah, I
fasting
know.
actually
Yeah, she's one of those weird ladies that like takes diet pills and.
Oh, that's dangerous machine, because like in Asia, bro, like that's a big thing. They really promote that. In America, they don't do it as much as they used to, but they literally have diet weight loss clinics where they just pump you full of pills, dude. Does that sound healthy? That sounds awful.
data on intermittent fasting and its potential benefits. There is
He's not talking about that. Like they want people, they go, we'll give you fasting, but you have to do it only like 16 hours at the most.
data on the ketogenic diet, which is somewhat similar to what you do. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with any of these, but at the end of the day, I took something
She doesn't even agree with the ketogenic diet. God damn. Low carbs.
called the Hippocratic Oath as a doctor, which is first do no harm. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that your diet is going to kill people. Anybody with borderline
It hasn't in all the years I've been following them. There's information.
kidney disease, liver disease, medications. I mean,
Why do you think they
this
got
actually
kidney
does
disease?
make sense. This water,
kidney disease.
Pardon me?
They got kidney disease in the first place because the mainstream's telling them what the mainstream's telling them doesn't work. Okay, cutting calories, eating multiple meals a day just spikes your insulin all day long. It creates, that's the biggest promoter of inflammation, having spiked insulin.
I 100% agree with you. Insulin is a major problem, and I think this is something that people need to understand more. And this is, again, something that you partially understand is the role of hormones in weight loss. But there are other ways. This is not the right way. I spend all of my days in the office controlling.
What's the right way then, lady? Shout out to Marilyn. She says, I fast at least twice a year, a week or more, no food. I wish that. Wow. So this whole time she's been doing that, huh? You don't trust those Asians? Well, maybe they can do your nails, but not your eyebrows. Huh?
Inflammation and insulin resistance in patients, and I don't have to starve them, and I don't have to kill them or cause any sort of massive side effects.
The fasting, what happens in like a hospice when people are like on their deathbed at the very end of their life? Listen though, they actually can't put anything in their body. What do you think the IV is at the hospital? It's snake juice.
Cole, they're getting snake juice.
Yeah, it's potassium, magnesium, and sodium, right? And it's funny that like at the hospice where people pass away, they go to die. Like that's where my mom passed away, and my grandma, like for that matter. They give them that insulin drip. He called it snake juice, and they ended up like weeks before they pass away, they actually end up being actually a little healthier. Isn't that weird? Like because they stopped eating and they don't, and their cancer is getting probably eaten and whatnot away. Yeah, snake juice. That's what they call that. It's magnesium powder, potassium chloride, and Himalayan salt or sea salt. Yeah, that's the natural electrolytes.
Yeah, it wasn't a word.
It helps you so much, bro, through the fast. Yeah. It tastes kind of gross, of course, the more you're not used to it, but it's like screw it. It's medicine. You know, it's yeah. But this is wild, bro. Like, I can't believe it. It's kind of like, to me, like fasting. There's like two things in my life that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. One was DMT, right? The first time I tried that, and I was like, what? There's another world around us this whole time, and am I experiencing it? I can see it, right? But I'm still me. And then 2 was this fasting protocol.
Hey, listen though, they actually can't put anything in their body. What do you think the IV is at the
And
hospital?
both, I can't imagine like what people don't know about these things.
Hospital. When people are like on their deathbed at the very end of their life, hey, listen though, they actually can't put anything in their body. What do you think the IV is at the hospital? It's snake juice.
Cole, they're getting snake juice with TPN, which is nutrients going into their body.
Right, that's exactly
We've all
right.
worked in a hospital setting and watched the nutrients also going, the calories going into their body.
When you have people that are obese and you got them weighing like 200 pounds overweight, you know how much nutrition's on their fat? Every animal in nature does this. Like
That's why people that have more fat on them, they can fast longer than someone that doesn't, right? Because because the body starts eating away the fat of that larger person, and that's why, like, when we say like, oh, I'm starving, I didn't eat breakfast or whatever, you're not starving. What's starving is actually when you're thin, you're slim, right, and you have no more fat on your body, so your body ends up eating away your muscle and whatnot. That's starving, right? Big difference than how we use it colloquially. GT 9655 says, huh? Fasting gave you DMT experience for real? No, I'm saying that the epiphany it's similar. The paradigm shifting aha moment of knowing that after I smoked the DMT, where I was like, wow, I actually went to another dimension and it's right here the whole time. And that as well, and then I compared that to fasting and getting results for myself and my wife actually getting pregnant after fasting, after many years of not getting pregnant, those two things was like a crazy paradigm shift for me. And on top of that, knowing that both of those things, DMT and fasting, is not known more by people in general. It's just mind blowing to me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, I think DMT is the craziest thing I've ever experienced in terms of like experiences. Yeah. So easy to lose weight if you just stop eating correctly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. But we think that we're told that no, you're going to starve, but you're not going to starve unless you're already super slim. And even super slim people can fast for days.
a grizzly bear will eat all summer, store the fat, and then they'll literally lay on their ass all winter and not eat a thing.
We're not bears.
We're not bears.
That's true, but we're not bears or snakes, so we have to differentiate. Okay, so let me ask you, what
do you think about that, Machine? I'm thinking from a Dallas perspective, like we're not bears or snakes, but we can observe nature, bears and snakes, and see how it corresponds to us as humans, right? Because we are of nature too. Like we spoke about earlier, how we see the same mechanism in nature being played out. So what do you think about her being snobby and saying like, we're not bears, we're not snakes?
She's not a bear, but she does look pretty cuddly. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give her that. I'll give you that. If you would have said that, that's some Detroit player shit right there, Machine. Flip it like that. You know, she would have blushed and probably put her hair behind her ear when you said that. It caught her off guard. That was good. Yeah. Oh, shit.
What is being said up here is based on decades and decades of scientific evidence. Let me ask you, I just want to know, do you have any prospective randomized controlled?
Is he eating fat? Where's Landry at?
Her last name was Landry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nita Landry.
To substantiate any claims that you are making, because the claims we are making is based on science. Have you done any studies?
My snake diet Facebook group as 200,000 people. I'd say that's a good enough study when people are losing.
Yeah, that's anecdotal evidence. I've seen it. I've been in there, and they do put studies in there. Now, granted, this is like, I don't know, machine. This is maybe like this show. It says 4 years ago, but I think it was more like 8 years ago or something like that. It's so it's so much more mainstream now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this lady should be considered a fraud if nobody ever died from doing this, because she literally said people will die from this shit. Like, what? She looks like a sensational fucking quack. Crazy.
Yeah, because they're a whole little sham pyramid scheme of like, you need this medicine and that medicine to fight these chronic disease will be like, it'd be done, right? When you just cure yourself the whole disease by fasting or whatnot, along with other things you can do too that they don't agree with. He says, Non says everybody's different thanks to the environment. So much pollution in America. A lot of pollution, yeah.
Oh yeah, over here we had these we had an emergency warning, where it said there's fires in Canada and there's just fucking smoke all around this bitch. And it's just like smoky. Like, you go outside, it smells different and shit. And they're like, don't go outside and breathe the air. Like, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, all right, like, I guess we'll just stay indoors. Like, what the fuck? It's pretty wild stuff.
So you went outside and you experienced that?
Yeah, I mean, I went outside. It's all smoky and foggy and shit. And then it smells like it's burnt plastic and shit. It smells. Ooh. It does not smell like a fire at all. like from a forest. But
like
yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah, it kind of smells like some chemical stuff mixed in.
I wish it was DMT. They burnt the plastic.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, GT says, I want to try DMT, but I'm lazy to go seek it out. It'll find you, especially if you live in America or Canada. You can make it. It's very easy to make.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, just take mushrooms, right? Because mushrooms are DMT, right? Yeah. I think like the process of making DMT and smoking it and all that stuff, I'm not sure what that's actually doing for us. Right. I know it is a powerful experience. And so on and so forth. I know it might be legal in certain states.
Yeah.
Right. And so on and so forth. Yeah, like mushrooms are legal in Ann Arbor. And I know that if you take a high dose of mushrooms, which you kind of have to work your way up to, right, you could have a DMT like experience. I've had many DMT like experiences on mushrooms. Which are legal in like several U.S. states. I don't know where GT is, but
yeah, and like you said, that's my friend Justin. He's an expert at that in the Netherlands about DMT and creating it and all that stuff. And
they are experts at growing psilocybin and and all types of drugs over there in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Right, they're very much experts. Like, I heard they have like truffles. Or these
they sell them at the coffee shops too and stuff at the store.
Yeah,
I definitely would probably cultivate mushrooms if I lived in America, North America, because it's like, and even the process of creating them, like Mystery Ozo, our friend, he's a master grower. Like that teaches you good habits of hygiene and sanitation and keeping things sanitary in itself, growing the mushrooms, right? And then you have them there, and like one mushroom could feed you for life, right? With all the spores and right, it's ridiculous. It's like fasting, and it's just that barely costs anything, but it's like, you want to travel, you go to the deepest regions of the inner and outer space. Yeah. With those mushrooms, they're good. Yeah, and even like with mushrooms too, like the times I took it before, I had a fasting protocol too. Years ago, before I would take it, I would want to eat it on an empty stomach for me.
Absolutely, yeah. You had to take like a day off of eating, or you don't eat anything that day at least, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So it's all just from that. It's already changing your consciousness, huh? And that's the thing, bro. Like when I did that dry fast machine for 5 days, I was literally sitting in the next room. I'm in the studio right now, but my bedroom next door, and sitting on my bed, and I was reading like books like like The Myth to Live By, Joseph Campbell, and then like listening to once again like Bobby Hemming and other things, and I literally started seeing sparkle orbs all around me on that fifth day, and I was just, wow, this is next level stuff going on right now, man. All I gotta say is you start freeing yourself up for other possibilities when you stop eating for a minute. Your body tries to preserve your muscle tissue. Oh yeah, when you're fasting, yeah. A lot of times the last to go is your stomach, because the fat around your stomach is because I think your body's naturally protecting the organs, right? Your organs and all those great organs in your stomach and whatnot. Non says they're definitely up to something when they want to hide things, that they conjure up those clouds that smell terrible. Oof. Yeah, these people are wow.
Yeah.
They're the beast system for sure.
Pounds in a month.
All right,
Cole,
I'm gonna go
that's
back
not
straight up,
science.
straight to the
Here's
weight
the
loss,
thing.
because I have personal experience with calorie restriction through U.S. Army Ranger School, where to serve my country, I had to cut out food for a while. Not all food, but severe calorie restriction. What happened was I absolutely got skinnier, lost 20 pounds of muscle. The only time in my adult life I was chubby was as soon as that ended, because I screwed up my metabolism.
And you know
and
why?
then you
You
gain
know
weight
why?
very easy.
Let them talk.
Easy.
You know why?
That will happen to
Because you
everybody.
weren't fasting.
Everybody. You
Because you
cut the
weren't
weight out,
fasting.
and then you're going to gain
Because
more.
You're not listening to him. He's saying that he cut his calories. That's different than fasting, right? He's still eating. That's why I was a stickler to fasting. Like when my wife's like, she like want to chew some, I'm just gonna chew some gum. I'll be like, no, don't do that. You want to get all the benefit. You don't want to have anything in your, But I mean that's okay. But you know what I mean. If you're gonna do it, we'll go all out, right? That's what I think.
There's a lot of people from Alberta, Canada, that are very based, in their views in life. It seems like an interesting region in the world, right? For sure.
Probably fit in right there. No, this guy, bro, that's Cole Robinson. Like I remember we said about following, but sometimes you got to follow before you can lead too. And this guy, he's based, bro. With the stereotypes of Canada growing up in America, we say like, that's America Junior. They're soft. This guy is hardcore, more hardcore than almost most people I know in America, bro. He's about what he says.
Because your metabolism slows way down. Short-term fix, 2 weeks, you need to get ready for a wedding. Unsafe, but effective. Outside that, unhealthy and not effective long-term. Period.
Listen for a second.
Shut up.
Your metabolism gets cranked up because you weren't fasting.
You weren't.
You cut calories with a high intake frequency. That will be catabolic as hell. Why do you think intermittent fasting is so popular?
Yeah.
Well, Cole, I mean,
They just like cut up his words and so.
You can't deny that as part of this starvation diet that I'm going to call, you are going to lose protein.
People can't starve. Fat people cannot starve.
That is absolutely not true. I see obese, malnourished people every single
That's not starving, bro.
They cannot starve. They are fasting. If they are fasting, they cannot starve.
I'm telling you, man, these people, those doctors. I think doctors are great for diagnostic and emergency situations, but yeah, man, that's not that it's a war. I don't want to make it like that, but I guess they feel like they have a lot to lose, right? If there's another option to what they do. How long do you fast for? How often? I think I might give it fasting a try. I think a good start maybe is like try a 48 once a week, not once a week, excuse me, like once a month or a couple a month, 48 hours of not eating, right? Try that, see how that works. A lot of people I know, they do like I told you, my friend Sean, he does a 72 we call it, which is 3 days. That's when you start resetting your immune system, right? You can work your way up to that. So start off with a 48 and see what happens. And you might get a headache or whatever, like caffeine withdrawal, or if you didn't drink enough water before, you might get a little dehydrated. But keep drinking water. Like I said, water is good, but snake juice is better, which is electrolyte, which is water, potassium chloride. It's a powder you can buy at the store, and magnesium. I guess you can use it from baking soda, and then sea salt, water, in your water, and Himalayan salt, and that's it. You're good. Yeah, you can drink water for sure. I mean, well, some people do a dry fast. That's if you want to heal something. Like really, I mean, you're going to heal yourself anyway. Yeah, drink. Yeah, drink water. But here, I'll give you this protocol right here. Let me get it for you. Snake juice. What's in there?
Yeah, and by the way, he gave a breakdown at the beginning of the show. About the length of fasting, right? The prescribed method, right? How you should carry it out, right? What type of water you drink, right? With the electrolytes, what type of effects it has, on the body, right? He did a breakdown per the hours, how it like goes, 24 hours, 48 hours, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Thank you,
So,
Machine.
yeah, so look at that at the beginning of the show if you need more info.
Yeah, and then here it is right here. These things right here. This is what's in the snake juice, which is just like it's what they put in the IVs basically. When you need fluids, when you hear like that athlete needed fluids, except you're drinking it. Okay? Potassium chloride, a little bit of baking soda, and pink salt, pink Himalayan salt. All right, you can use sea salt too. Some people use, but yeah, and then the measurements. Usually we use it for it's for a liter of water. You don't even put that much of these things in there. Just like a teaspoon, like or whatever. Okay, so you use 2 liters of. You can use 2 liters of water, 8 cups of water, right? And then let's see. Yeah. Here, I put this in where it has that. The measurements. So for 8 cups of water, 2 liters of water, half a teaspoon of pink salt, 1 teaspoon of potassium chloride, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Oh wait, no, magnesium, right? You can use baking soda. So here, this is it. There's the protocol, and you just sip that throughout the day, right? It's gonna taste kind of gross, but it's gonna help you because if you just drink water only, you might get more headaches. You might have less energy, but this will give you like a boost. It's kind of like what Gatorade is supposed to be. Would you say, Machine? Take away the sugar. Yeah, real electrolytes.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, can't give advice about that without making a performative sort of contradiction. But the thing is that yeah, definitely we need to watch out for sugar. I think it creates some sort of intestinal bacteria that then causes cancer and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, that sugar. That's why I like alcoholics feel that too. Like my stepdad, when he got off the booze, I used to watch him drink his coffee machine, and there's a little sugar container, and he'd take teaspoon after teaspoon after teaspoon after teaspoon, like 5 teaspoons of sugar like in one cup of coffee. I'm like, damn, bro, because it's that sugar. It's in the alcohol. It's in our sweets. It's in our drinks. Yeah. Yeah, but try it. See how you feel, GTT. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge problem I have is the coffee and the sugar, right? And I guess I'll add cannabis to that list of problems, right? But yeah, all three of those, it's like constant use of that is just not good for your brain. It's not good for your body, right? There's things that your body naturally produces to deal with, those issues, right? So you're kind of fucking up your own body's ability to compensate for those functions, right?
Yeah, you're like messing with it. Like, you're getting in the way of yourself, would we say?
Yeah. Like for example, you have like an endocannabinoid system, right? You have distribution of sugars and things, right, that you need. Obviously it affects your brain, right? With the other things, yeah, there's lots of effects that I'm sure we're not paying attention to because we're not experts.
We're not. Yeah, a lot of this is anecdotal evidence right here too. And like, for example, let's watch a couple of these about fasting.
Got patched up. So what if I told you that not eating for 72 hours could give you a brand new immune system? Not repaired, not patched up, but brand new. In 2014, Walter Longo and his team at the University of Southern California published a study in one of the most prestigious scientific journals in the world, and what they found will stop you in your tracks. At 72 hours of fasting, your body signals dormant stem cells to activate. Old, weak, ineffective immune cells are cleared out completely, and when you refeed, your body produces a younger, more capable immune population. Your body does that all on its own. No drugs, no intervention, just time without food. And here's the part that most people in this community will want to know. Cancer cells cannot do what your healthy cells do during a fast. They are locked into one fuel source, glucose. So the
glucose is a stored sugar.
Can't adapt. They can't switch. So while your healthy cells are regenerating, cancer cells are becoming more and more vulnerable every single hour. And when you fast, the fast and the refeed together are one complete ancient healing system. On the 29th of July, this entire community is going to be doing this together. You can choose a 24, 48, or 72-hour fast, and I'll be with you every step of the way with a live call during the challenge every single day. But first, if you want to know more information, I'm hosting a workshop on the 15th of July.
Yeah, that's the thing too. If any of you guys are doing fasts, you could definitely use this video as a way. I check the comments all the time. I'm always plugged in, and so if you're doing your fast and you have a moment of weakness or whatever, leave a comment on the on this video, right? And then I'll answer it. We can talk like that on there. I've had dialogue with people in the comments right here after the fact, and we can get through this. Because it seems very daunting, especially if you had never done it before, but it's not that bad. And actually, it'll make you feel like a superwoman, a Superman. It is very righteous. All scriptures, if you're a Christian, talked about it. Look at Jesus, the 40 days in the desert. He didn't eat, right? Ramadan, the machine will tell you, that's fasting, right? There's other people who have fasted, sages throughout history. Right now, I'm fasting right now, man. The physical benefits of a fast should be normal. Yeah, there's a way to bypass the wrenches that have been thrown in the body's way. Fasting should mainly be for spiritual purpose, for sure. Yeah, and that's hey, if that's your top priority for fasting, for sure. And then anything else is like the physical, that could be a byproduct, a good byproduct of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about I was trying to get across with this idea of purity, right? how it kind of cuts across the religious spectrum.
Yes.
It's very strange, right? How like Christians, Buddhists, right, Muslims, right, all sorts of Hindus, right? There's all sorts of people that prescribe fasting, right? So, as a religious practice, and of course, as a medical, practice or physical, aid to certain things, right? It's been around for like a very long time. So it's kind of weird how this thing, and that's why I think it can be compared to I think this idea of the Great Sabbath, right? Because in the Great Sabbath, right, they'll kind of allow the land to lie fallow so that things could grow, right? You like forgive debts, right? You free slaves, and then you allow the land, right? The usufruct of the land to lie fallow so that things could just grow back naturally, right? So that, so it's kind of like you let nature regrow and so I think there's this cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle, right? And I mean, I spoke about it earlier with like feast or famine, right? In the times of feasting is when you're refeeding, and which another component I mentioned earlier about it's fasting is just 50% of the equation. The other 50% is how you refeed, how you eat, how your diet is, your lifestyle is after, right? Because you don't want to reset yourself from eating all these toxins and clean up your body and then only to do it again. It's like you're getting rid of all the gains. So that's why you gotta eat some other things that are healthy. And I was speaking about earlier, a good way to refeed is to ease back into eating like bone broth. That's a good way. Avocados, stuff that's good for your gut bacteria. Sauerkraut, fermented foods.
Yeah. Whenever I say bone broth, I gotta say like Alex Jones, right? So I always say bone broth.
Yeah, bone broth. Very harsh.
Bone broth.
Bone broth.
Bone broth.
Yeah. That's Alex, man. Yeah. He's yeah. It's funny because like people like him, they know it too, but they commodify it, this stuff, right? But it's not that expensive, really. Like that's why it's like screw Whole Foods and all that places. I mean, if you have money, great to spend it, but you don't need all that stuff, man. There's ways you can fasting's for free, you know. Yeah. I'm looking for this one video right here where they really break down this fasting stuff here. We've got another one too.
Our body is a miracle, magical machine that can heal itself through fasting. So why I recommend one meal a day, 23 and 1. But if you can go 2, 3, or 4 days, but that's hard. Our body is a miracle magic.
I mean, yeah, work your way up to it. Work your way up to it. We gotta show you this one guy because you're talking about in the Bible. Remember Buddha? He was barely eating anything, right? At one point in his story.
Right, yeah.
Prolonged fasting. Where is this Jacob? Yakub.
Yeah, this dude's got some weird glasses for sure, but yeah.
We trust him still?
He's got some granny glasses, you know.
He got some granny glasses.
I just finished a fast on one lady just now for 72 days.
Wow.
72 days. If a patient is very overweight, a patient has diabetes, and your goal is to reverse the diabetes, the patient needs to lose 60 pounds, then those patients have a special type of need. For them, I will take them to a 48-hour fast once a week. Sometimes I'll go to a 3-day water fast every 9 days. Every 9 days, you will do OMAD. OMAD means 1 meal a day only, every day for 9 days. And then you're going to give me a 3-day water fast.
Is the same advice applicable to women? Because obviously
that's a good protocol, like because he's doing the OMAD, so he's not overwhelming the body before he goes on this fast. Because if you're eating junk all the way, like, and then stopping and doing the fast, you're gonna have a lot of toxins to deal with, to get rid of. I mean, you'll be able to get through it, but it's gonna be, you're gonna feel that garbage when the garbage collectors in your body, it's getting rid of it. Whereas if you've been eating for over a week, more cleaner and less often, you're not gonna have as much garbage to deal with. So that's why you would do something like that before. Now they're talking about women.
See, they're contending with a variety of hormone fluctuations and estrogen, and I know that the female body responds differently to these kinds of stresses like fasts.
Most of the women can actually handle it. The only women that cannot are those who are trying to become pregnant, or they have or they're already pregnant. I think that women are not that different when it comes to the fasting programs. So in my experience, I've been able to get women to fast. I just finished a fast on one lady just now for 72 days. 72 days. She was terribly overweight. She had diabetes. She had hypertension. She had hyperlipidemia. She was having hip replacements, knee replacements, joint problems. She had skin problems. And we fasted her for 72 days.
What did she have in those 72 days in terms of drinks, electrolytes, coffee? What was she?
Great question. So she would have black tea, black coffee, water. And in the water, once a day, I tell her to put some electrolytes in there. So there's an electrolyte called LMNT, or sometimes I just tell them to go buy some Celtic salt and put half a teaspoon in there. And once a day, you take that. If you get cravings and you feel really, really hungry, take some MCT oil, a teaspoon, and put it in your water, and you can drink that as well.
I think it's worth saying that probably you shouldn't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously medical supervision is critical here. But in the case of that lady, what was the before and after of that 70?
Well, maybe, see, that's when they always get you, when people get nervous when they go like, you need a medical doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, this dude definitely has that look about him, like he's got like satanic knowledge or something like that. Sort of weird. Right? He's got like a weird look about him.
The self-help sphere, the self, whatever. That's a nice way of saying like Satanist kind of. When you put the
yeah, it's definitely like pseudo occultist tactics that they they've learned all that stuff from like Manly P. Hall and like mysticism, right? And then they turn it into self-help program.
Mm-hmm.
And these people don't know that they're being initiated behind the scenes, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, those big self-help people, they're definitely cultists, like Mr. Tony Robbins and all that. I think I'm back right now. The CEO is this guy. He calls himself the CEO, the guy talking. Yeah, he has like a self-help channel on YouTube. So Maryland does this. The master cleanse looks like lemon, cayenne, dark maple syrup because it's harvested later, more minerals, salt flushes in the morning, and smooth tea at night if you're trying to lose weight. Peppermint tea during the day if needed. That sounds exciting.
I think we lost you in terms of your audio. Your audio cut out.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at these protocols. Interesting what she has going on. Maryland, right there. Let's see this. This is other channel. I think you'll get a kick out of this guy, Machine. I'm sure he does fasting, but he uses natural things to heal the body and whatnot. It's up here. There it is. Let me show you his channel.
Yeah.
Let me get this real quick. The dangers of fasting. Here we go, guys. That it? Yeah. What this guy to say?
You see, I want you to understand. I want to go over something. You see, you give me a lot of questions, a lot of ailments. You see, I want you to understand something very clearly. It's not these names, when you tell me them, they only allow me to understand what's going on or what organs, tissue, and systems are involved. That's all I use it for. We don't treat it. We look at it as what's causing the blockages. So let me go over 6 principles.
He's saying like when people say I have heart disease or diabetes, he looks at those things as not necessarily that, but it just as a way of explaining these blockages and whatnot.
That you can all use, and I don't care what you're experiencing right now, it's going to help you. The first one is always change your diet. And the reason why we change the diet to all fruit diet is because the fruits move the lymphatic system and help you cleanse excess mucus out of the body. Whatever you
Did you ever do that? Have a mostly fruit diet before?
Yeah, I think fruit and water. Like there's been a lot of times in life where I've just had fruit and water. So
wow, that's it. Dang.
Yeah, it's been like I don't know. That's why like with the water fasting.
I
was like, yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, you done it
by accident.
Yeah. not consciously. You just ended up being like that, huh?
Yeah.
Because you're busy, like probably working and stuff and teaching.
Yeah, reading.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or like walking around and like writing stuff and then talking to people and it's like, oh, it's been 3 days. Like all I did was drink water and coffee and stuff. I'm gonna eat a couple of fruits soon.
Yeah.
Experiencing 90% of the time is going to be your lymphatic system, and going on a fruit cleanse allows you to heal that, which then allows you to heal your issue. Okay. For those who can't do the all fruits, you can use veggies, add veggies to it, and add some cooked veggies and the raw veggies. But the fruits raw is where you go when you want healing. You can add fasting later on. Don't add fasting immediately, because you want the body to open up the pathways of elimination so that you can get rid of waste. If you don't do that, your fasting can cause a healing crisis you can't shake up.
Oh, so he's saying that he's recommending
Number 2, use herbs to take.
He's recommending
care of the kidneys, adrenal.
Doing the fruit before, because it may be too much of a.
The next one.
Yeah, you want to see this one? That's a.
You're almost there. You got this. Yes.
Keep going.
Keep it going. I almost
The theme is.
What the hell?
Hello guys, I'm so happy.
And we're on a roll.
We hooping, and this bitch is sweaty as fuck. Sweaty in a hoe. But we sweating like.
That's
sweating,
a woman.
Sweating.
That was a man.
Bitch.
No, that's a woman, isn't it? That's a man.
We at the park, we
Yeah.
hooping, and this bitch is sweaty as fuck. Sweaty in a hoe.
Yo, this
Mellow,
guy.
you.
Oh, man.
How you doing, man? What the
Great.
what?
Every day's a blessing. I mean, shoot.
You said you've been
living.
Yeah.
Growing by the day.
You said you've been a fruitarian for most of your life? Oh yeah. Oh, you want to get that guy's? Let me get that guy's page for you. Is in case you want to follow that, guys. He has some good stuff going on right there. We got off on the jiggle, huh? There's that fruitarian dude. He like healing with the body naturally. He has some good stuff. This guy got his foot amputated because of his diet, probably. You know that? Omea Ball, the father of the balls machine. Earlier in the year, he had his foot amputated because his blood sugar, his diabetes, I think.
Yeah, that's
Mellow
weird.
you.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this man has some crazy advice. Let's see if he's speaking the truth. This guy right here. We're in the misleadingest portion of the show right now.
When your life, most friendships only work when your life is easy, when you are useful, when you are strong. But the moment you are not the one holding everything together, the moment your world tilts, you find out who was connected to your soul and who was connected to your stability. Being cornered doesn't just test you, it exposes everyone around you. It clears the room. It separates the ones who love you from the ones who loved the way you made them feel. And if you let yourself see it without flinching, you will realize something very freeing. You were never losing people. You were losing illusions. The real ones don't step back when things get hard. They step forward.
Hey, I agree on that.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people could use that as cope. It's kind of like everyone wins, right? Like everyone who hears it wins.
Oh yeah,
right?
the people that leave and the people that stay.
Yeah, because it's like, oh well, well, everyone that left, they're just fake, and that's a good way to cope about it. But yeah, this guy also looks like he's AI, but,
Let's see if he's AI. Let's see. Does his body move around when he talks? That's a good sign too.
People who immediately respond to your texts
This kind of
are
real.
not desperate. People who immediately respond to your call are not desperate.
yeah, this one looks more real than the other one.
People who are
Yeah.
always there
Other
for
one,
you
So you could
I
have
don't know. He looked like really shiny in the other one.
when you
Like he
need
looked
them
like
are not always free.
he's like a
or
toy that
jobless.
just came out of a box in the other
Maybe
one.
they just
like this one, maybe.
none of us.
Yeah, look
a
at that.
total of 0 people on the planet are strong enough
Like, that looks kind of
to
weird.
do what we are talking about.
I don't know if it's the
alone.
eyes. Like his eyes are just
It's
not.
too
He's
difficult.
not blinking at all.
This thing called life,
Oh,
this
you're right.
thing
How come he's
called
not blinking?
leadership, it's just none
Like
of
he hasn't
us.
blinked in a good 30 seconds.
I mean, he could be locked in.
Yeah, he's got to be locked in pretty good. Like, because that like his eyes, like his eyeballs look really wet, and he's not blinking. It's pretty weird. But
Yeah, because that's what causes the wetness when you do blink, right?
Is that
Oh,
smart?
hey, machine! I just saw it where it said the location. Guess what the location said? You see it under his name?
Yeah, don't tell me it's Pakistan.
Yes, it's Pakistan.
Oh man, oh hell no.
He's light skinned too, huh?
Yeah, Pakistanis would definitely engineer this dude. Yeah, definitely.
Or that strong to do it alone.
Dude's a
The
Pakistani
reason
bot
you have the courage
Pakistani bot.
that doesn't blink and shit.
New album, Pakistani bot.
to jump out of a
Here's one more. Look
perfectly.
at this one. This really looks like AI right here.
I heard a quote today and it hit a little different. It said sometimes nothing good happens to you
Again, no
because
blinking.
you are the good.
Yeah,
that
that's true.
happens
That's
to
AI.
others.
That's kind
And
of weird.
that one stuck.
How come
with
he's not
me
blinking?
Because
At this point, I hope it's AI because that'd be kind of a scary human, right?
Yeah, he's not blinking in any video. Like that's kind of weird. Like
have
that's kind of
ever
wild.
felt like you are out here giving your all,
I think there was something
showing
wrong by
up
now.
for everybody, holding it together, being the strong
Yeah, I wouldn't want
one,
to have a staring contest with him.
but
You
nothing
lose every
ever
time.
seems to come back
Yeah.
your way. This might be why you see you are the blessing. The way you love.
Now let's see this targeted individual. You ever have any thoughts about that stuff? People that targeted individual. You ever heard that concept?
Yeah, it's real.
It's real, yeah.
It's just not really often that it happens. It's not as much as everybody who thinks they're a targeted individual is not obviously a targeted individual. Most of that is schizophrenia, right? But probably 70% of it. But there are people that are sort of government test subjects, and there are technologies where they can hit you with a beam. It's been proven that they can hit you with a beam. They can, do voice to skull, where all day you could be hearing a voice that says, if somebody's like fucking your wife or something like that, and then you're just mad at your wife. Yeah. Like later that day, like you're mad at your wife for no reason and you don't know why, because subliminally you've been hearing a voice all day.
Damn. But do you think people can prime themselves by the content they watch and stuff, that the thoughts that they internally just muse over?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, I think certain people are test subjects where they're using the algorithm to see how their thoughts can be controlled.
That's the weapon, right? The algorithm.
Yeah, where it's like certain people, they're seeing, like, if they can, like, for example, they did studies, right, where they try to influence people's emotions through their feed on Facebook. Like through the news feed on Facebook, right? Like when it just generates random stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It'll generate stuff based on your approval or disapproval or like or dislike of certain messages, and that'll cause certain emotions to be ramped up. They've been able to prove that they could do this.
Yeah. I think someone like me, but especially you, bro, and anyone would be targeted, would be, especially with the high powered information that you share and whatnot. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Nan. You're making the broadcast even better. She says, this show has been a breath of fresh air. I surely need a break from my regular routine. Yeah. Definitely machine lies in the NPC the game. Our shows are definitely a breath of fresh air if you've been in these YouTube sectors, huh? That's true. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, definitely high caliber input in the chat from Nanya. Blessings.
Yes. Let's see. This man, I'm curious to see what he has to say. Let's see.
But if you are the adult child, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are the adult child of a parent that belongs to an organization such as the Masonic Temple or an Eastern Star, you have a very high probability of becoming a targeted individual.
I would say even if your family is like involved in politics, high level corporate, life, as well as like the science and medical fields too. I would say that too. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these, like almost everybody that you see that's a high level person, like on like even YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like their parents were in the military in a top secret operation. Right? Like it's crazy, right? Like how many times did this has happened, right? So a lot of them will admit, like, our parents were in the deep state, and high level military programs and stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah, remember that claymation thing? I sent you it the other day. We already knew that because we've discussed this before about like how like Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, all these people's families were admirals and generals in the military. It never fails, right?
I think they had a video of of Hassan Piker and Charlie Kirk, right, giving each other like a Masonic handshake.
Wow.
Stuff like that, where it's like, they're even doing stuff like that, where it's like, the top level YouTubers and influencers that you see
Mhm.
that quote unquote organically it rose up to the top, they're put in these positions, and then when they deviate from those positions, you'll see a huge campaign against them, right? So it just so
even
happens that-
assassination.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw Biker too. Do you know his uncle is the guy from the Young Turks?
The Cenk Uygur or whatever.
Yeah, that's his.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that guy's interesting. I mean, the name is interesting, right? They've been
Yeah, it's
cited-
weird, man.
Yeah, it's a strange name. It's a name that is sort of anti-Muslim in a way. But yeah, so that's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, even like their name, the Young. You mean their name is anti-Muslim, the Young Turks, or his name, or that man's name in general.
Yeah, not totally, but yeah, it is interestingly. It's like saying you're like a staunch supporter of liberalism. Basically, like you're a Young Turk, like you support independence, or in a way that is against religious customs, against that type of stuff. I don't know. I really don't know what type of name that signifies, or right, but yeah, definitely, it ties to some sort of Sabbatean aims and whatnot. So yeah, pretty weird stuff.
Yeah, that and just in general, like there was a massacre of the Turkish people, right, by the Armenians, something like that, or vice
it's
versa.
the other way around. It's the other way around.
Yeah,
the Turks massacred the Armenians. Yeah.
Going to be your parent that is going to be the one predominantly telling you that you're tripping. No one is following you, because this is going to be your closest confidant. You're probably going to speak to them about it. And it's going to be that very parent that's telling you you're tripping. You're tripping. They are trying to control you by fear. This usually happens to the child that is acting on their own ambitions. If you are the adult child of a parent who is a part of the Masonic Temple or the Eastern Stars, and especially if you are acting on your own ambitions, you have a very high probability of becoming a targeted individual. And it's going to be your very parent that is telling you, you are tripping. No one is following you. No one is harassing you. No one is trying to do anything to you. You are tripping.
That could make you even more paranoid and high anxiety, huh?
Yeah, we need to get this guy to talk to that John Galt guy. Well, that would be an interesting conversation.
He kind of looks like what?
Exactly, right? He looks like him in another life. Yeah.
The more righteous version of him, I guess.
You are not ready for the world. This is what they're gonna try to embed in you. You are not a ready for the world mentality. They're gonna try to keep you in that nest. If you are acting on your own ambitions, you have a very high probability of becoming a target individual. I don't know who needs to hear this.
But
if you are the adult child.
When the Moors started having biracial children with the cave women.
Did he say cave women?
And then they showed a white lady.
Christ. Right. Right to the point, huh?
Their children came to power and they killed their parents. They had a sword, and when their fathers were asleep, they stabbed them in the heart and killed them. Then the children took over the kingdom, and they gave the kingdom to the cave men and the cave women. And that's how we lost control of our kingdom. When the Moors started having biracial children with the...
My last boyfriend said I was too much to handle.
Too much to handle?
That's the
cried.
Stanley guy on the last
I
one,
didn't.
right?
Big
That's
women
it.
don't break
Who's this?
easy, but we do make men weak.
Tootie Bug?
Come find out why. My last boyfriend said I was too much to handle.
Big Teddy.
He cried. I didn't. Big women don't break easy, but we do make men weak.
Not that she's big or anything. But,
Come find out why. My last boyfriend said I was too much to handle. He cried.
This is funny. This is what
I didn't. Big women don't break easy.
this is what
but
Non
we
was
do make
talking
men
about right
weak.
here.
Come find
That
out why.
stomach stuff.
My last boyfriend said I was too much.
I'm sure you've heard it on the news in America, huh? The stomach virus stuff, huh?
This information I'm getting ready to share with you is going to
Yeah.
If you're in America, this information I'm getting ready to share with you is going to piss you off. So if you have a weak stomach, go ahead and skip this video right now. But we're going to talk about the cyclosporosis, what's been happening in America, that parasite that causes explosive diarrhea. I think I have something that nobody's talking about of how something like this could happen, and it's going to make you very angry. So what's happening, guys, is that cyclosporosis, it comes from human feces, meaning somehow the vegetables came in contact with human feces.
Well, I know E. coli's in your stomach, which usually goes into end up in your intestinal tract. But that's gross. So yeah, it's like, how's this shit bacteria ending up on the fruit, right, Machine? The food, kind of strange.
How does that happen in a country like America? How does something like that happen?
Well, one of the main ways,
if you guys don't know,
it does have to, like, it is related to pigs. E. coli.
I see. Yeah.
So, so that might be a huge cause. Is like
could be
people
it,
that eating a lot of bacon and stuff. Well, you use a little E. coli with your bacon. Great news. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, I remember like 15, 20 years ago, it's kind of like the bacon, the pork eaters, they like doubled down because it wasn't just Jewish people or Muslim people that were talking about, there's pigs have a lot of more parasites than most of the
a lot
the cow and the chickens and whatnot, and it was beginning to be people were stop eating pork. And then I remember the pork industry had their commercials on TV, and then literally like people would like wear these shirts and have bumper stickers like "I love my bacon." It's like, wow, they're like doubling down, tripling down on that unhealthy stuff. The lady was maybe too much for you to handle. Yeah, more cushion for the pushing though. So the lawyer John Galt, I don't think John Galt, the one that we know, is a lawyer, but he's like he calls himself the urban landlord. Some may even say the slumlord.
Yeah, he's taking the name from Ayn Rand novel. So
yes, that's right. The one of the libertarian type philosophies,
Atlas,
right?
Atlas Shrugged, I believe it's called.
That's it. Yeah, good knowledge. Yep. I think this is an interesting one where you can go right here. Pigs do roll around in their filth. They do, right? They do. Let's see what Prince. What's that? Captain Tazariak? Did you bring him up last broadcast you're on here? Someone did. You familiar with Captain Tazariak from the Hebrew?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's a joke.
He has some interesting things to say about white people and homosexuals. Let's see what he had.
Yeah, I think that stuff is just out of place. And I think like his entire sort of religious schema is totally like it's pretty much from the loony bin, right? But the fact is this, right? They do promote sound, right, morality and teachings, and I guess they may do good stuff in their community, like keeping people off of drugs and stuff. So
that is
so perhaps they have so perhaps they have done some good community outreach, right? And following the Torah and some of that stuff is good. So that's what I'll say about them.
Okay. I like how you're looking at it from all angles. Here's some recent stuff he said real quick.
You don't think black? That's what white people is. Y'all great at being. You don't think black people could be? No, it don't sit on them right. Black people that are
They have to be loud and
That Little Nas S, Lil Nas X.
boisterous. Yeah. Because that demon doesn't fit on them. When it comes to the demons on white people, it sits on white people like a tailor.
It's Anderson Cooper, who's, he has that old money, Vanderbilt and Rothschild, I think.
Made suit. And when you see black people be the same evil, you could look at them and see the demon on them because it doesn't fit right. That
okay.
Yeah, so that's totally illogical, right? It's like a series of non sequiturs, right? Where this
Hi,
dude
Remember?
So yeah, go ahead, break that down. How it was illogical what he was saying, Machine, please.
Yeah, I mean, he extrapolated from, black people, right? When they're gay, they're boisterous. So it's like that's the reason he gave, right? So they're too boisterous, right? So they don't have the demon on them, right? So I mean, I'd like to see he's stretching the Bible stuff a lot, right? Because now white people have inherently demons in them, right? So this is
inherently, huh?
Yeah, so this is some wild type of stuff, right? Whereas, yeah,
what's his name? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad would say, like, the white people, he called them the devil and said they had a special germ in them. I guess it's before they knew the word gene or something that makes them more devil, and the black man is God. But I think a lot of that he was using metaphor more than anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with sort of the racial teleology. Trying to use the Bible for it, because you have Adam, then you have Noah, so you have at least in two instances where the entire human race was consolidated through one person, right? So and then David and Solomon, and Moses, they were mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They seem to have mixed in with different tribes and stuff. Like, for example, right. Moses, right. He married a Midianite, right. The daughter of a Midianite priest. Right. And then David, he, married a Hittite.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So apparently in the Bible narrative, right, Hittites and, Midianites are not Jews. Right. So where's this racial purity that you're talking about with Israel, right? It's it doesn't even make sense.
So even in his narrative world building, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So how is he? Yeah, how is he different from a white person? It's not really been established. He's a special type of black person that links somehow to Puerto Ricans and I think Native Americans, but they haven't fully established.
But then they have some white people in their thing too. It's weird. It's one of those things. As long as you pay money and follow what they have to say. Nonya says, I think it's coming from the Dolores Cannon lady who says that they lack skull. Yeah, she says that certain people lack skull. I don't know if I heard her say like white people in general, but I've definitely heard a lot of different black nationalist groups use that. Right. We don't, they don't have a soul and whatnot.
Yeah, well, definitely the Jews say that in their
the Talmud.
Talmud and stuff about the goyim and the animals. That they don't really have souls. The Jews have souls.
Non-Jews, huh? According to them, anyone that's a non-Jew, huh? Yeah. This guy right here is what I was looking for. This is Jacob. He's an interesting dude. About his protocols for health.
Remember, you need to squat every day, and you need to practice this position.
I want to get where he talks about fasting, some stuff where I can find it. Detoxing, comparing fasting. Okay. Let's go. The guy has so many videos. Here, we'll start with this one. Okay. Some of us have we want to heal our cavities and our teeth or whatever. So
This is how I reversed about 4 or 5 different cavities. Every morning and evening, take some salt and gargle it in some water. That salt,
yeah, this guy lives for salt,
is antibacterial. You also want to take the salt and start eating it because the magnesium inside of that salt also helps to regrow your teeth and get rid of mouth issues.
You see, salt, that's the thing that came up with our fasting protocols.
Magnesium is highly antibacterial equals anti-cavity. Remember, this is what people back in the day used to do. They would just get salt and water, and that's how they would clean their mouths, and that's how they would rinse their mouth. They would barely even use toothbrushes because the salt in the water is so effective, but especially when you start to throw the coconut oil into the equation. When you start to detox your gut, you start to get rid of the cavity issue. Start to do the Master's Cleanse. That's half a key lime every morning, a pinch or 2 of salt, a 1/16 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a little bit of coconut or olive oil in a shot glass. Drink that morning, afternoon, and evening. This is going to further prevent even the possibility of you ever having a cavity. I used to have sensitive mouth/tooth issues. When I started to do the Master's Cleanse on a regular basis, my mouth sensitivities, my tooth sensitivities, they went away. So when you start to do this, the same thing's going to happen to you too. Start doing the Master's Cleanse at least 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And after a couple weeks, watch your mouth issues disappear when you start to adopt a low-carb lifestyle, which is why we made you the meal guide and the Bible health book. Everything that you need is going to be at jacobslink.com, including other free resources for your health. Hit the link in the bio.
And the leaves of the trees are for healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curses. I like that. I put none of these diseases upon you. Okay. Yeah. And walking machine, I'm sure that a good way to get through a fast too. Light walking, get your mind out. We spoke on earlier about nature, getting outside, the benefits of
2 to 4 hours helps to pump the HG. 15 to 20 minute brisk walk every 2 to 4 hours helps to pump the HGH and testosterone throughout your body, and you allow your body to start to recover properly. Especially when you couple the walking with a little sunlight, this is when you have an even higher HGH, testosterone boosting, BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, miracle growth of the brain effect. Now they say that you should get in at least 10,000 steps, and what I found is a brisk walk, 10, 20 minutes every 2 to 4 hours will get you there, no problem. Again, I say 2 to 4 hours because I get it. You're going to be stuck working, so sometimes it's only going to be every 4 hours, but you're probably going to be standing up the majority of the day, no matter what, depending on your job and what you do every day. Point is that body recomposition, it truly starts with like our daily activities and what we're doing. And you can get a great like ab workout, core workout when you learn how to walk properly and you start to use that posterior complex righteously. And remember, always take a walk after your meal. Give yourself 30 minutes, an hour to let that food sit, and then take a walk. It takes about 20 minutes. You're going to feel a lot better at the end of 20 minutes because your food is going to accelerate as far as digestion is concerned. So learn the way and get healthy, wealthy-wise. Everything you need at jacobslink.com.
And our friend Jack Telcott, he promotes holistically. His thing is self-massage, right? You heard him talk about that before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Massage is good, though. I like it better when someone can give me a massage, but massage is good. And like the feet are the source of a lot of ailments, the pain in the feet and the tension. And when you work those meridians, they can help you out. Like here's some ways, some techniques for you can help with your partner, or maybe they can do it for you. Just turn that music off. Yeah.
Your left testicle weighs this much. Your right testicle weighs that much.
I gave this speech at University of Colorado Springs on October 23rd, 2019. 4 years.
Oh, fascial manipulation.
Before I detransitioned this. I haven't watched it ever since I posted it, really, because it's kind of uncomfortable for me to watch.
3.5 months ago, I had what everyone calls the surgery. Everyone wants to know that, whether you have.
I don't know what that is, Bashir. That's great. You were talking about fascia, Nanya? Here's the one for you right here. That's a big thing that's really trending right now, Machine. Fascia, that part of the body that it's like the netting that goes over the muscles and stuff. You've heard of that before? Fascia?
No.
And it kind of looks like the neural network of mycelium underground. and it goes all over our body parts. And a lot of people are swearing by how, taking care of that and can really help you with your health and whatnot and longevity.
You want to get into the squat position. If you can't use the weight, then just use your actual weight. And then you're going to go ahead and try to raise your leg like so. And you're going to want to try to almost on purpose activate that twitch response.
Fascia.
This is going to activate your fast twitch muscles as well as, get away from the camera. This is going to activate your posterior chain, which everybody's posterior chain is activated. So you've got 30 seconds to a minute on each side. And then you start to do the same thing. And you want to shoot. It's going to be easier for me for weight. You want to really shoot the vibrato for the change.
Anything fascia. Give you the heads up on this one, huh? Real quick. Not fascism. Here we go.
You already know about tendons and ligaments and cartilage, but have you ever heard of fascia? If this is your muscle, this is fascia. Like plastic wrap, it wraps around, through, and inside your muscles, giving them shape and form, allowing for surfaces to slide. And it's also an amazing sensory organ. Your fascia has 5 times as many sensory nerves as your muscles. So mechanoreception, proprioception, and even interoception, a lot of that happens from your fascia itself. So why does any of this matter to you? Well, whether you're interested in strength or flexibility or relieving pain, you can't talk about muscle without also talking and working on this connective tissue matrix called fascia.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like the little things I've heard about it. Here's one more. Nonia's talking about it's literally your spirit. Let's look at that real quick.
The emotions are held in the fascia. In medicine, we go, the fascia is great at keeping our bones and muscles together, and it works. It keeps us from being a puddle of skin and bones. And there's a really sublime piece to fascia, and that's our electrical network of frequency that moves through our body. It is the roadway of where I say the soul works. And traditional Chinese medicine was right. 5,000 plus years ago, they have meridians mapped out. Where does it go? It's not through the blood vessels. It's not through the lymphatic system. It's not through the bones. It's not through the muscle. It's through the fascia. The emotions are held in the fascia. In medicine, we go, the fascia is great.
What do you think about that, Machine? Thoughts? Fascia.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that there's an immaterial world, but I definitely don't think that matter is, soul and so on and so forth. That it's reducible to that sort of thing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm sold that is where the seed is of all of the stuff. The heart is the philosopher's stone at the end of the day, and it's not the physical heart; it's the spiritual heart, right? So I don't know.
Like that.
So spirit, right? And I think spirit and soul are 2 different things, really.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of people are hip to that game as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're more real than matter or some sort of immaterial forms that exist that impinge on the so-called material world and make it fake, and so on and so forth. I think this world is real, but I think it's a mental world, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's like Donia agrees with you. It's not a physical heart, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. No, this is physical right here.
Cody's fascia suit is healthy. And notice the cobwebs, right? They're doing well, right? So he can lift his arms, he can move, he can go hike. He can go play tennis. He can do it. He can tie his shoes, no pain. Okay? No problem. I'm about to change that. So I'm going to give Cody a myofascial restriction at his right rib cage and armpit. And if you can already see, he's already having to adapt a little bit against this. Good. So now, Cody, go ahead and try to lift both arms up for me. And we're going to just, woo, good. Okay, so can you see that his range of motion is restricted right now? Really try to lift them up higher, Cody. Okay, now drop them back down because, ow, that's not fun. Now, this makes sense, right? You can imagine how this is going to create this restriction.
I like that what you said, Nonya. You said spirit is using the fascia to cross that barrier. I could see because it's like the in-between substance right there.
Yeah.
Neurojack, good to see you. Nature is evil. Friend or evil. Feedback from Gaia. Ooh, that's wicked. That's pretty. I like how you said that too. That's interesting. Feedback from Gaia. Somebody was saying, Machine. It was Kambata. You know Kambata, the rapper, right? He was saying like nature, like is trying to kill you always. In the sense that he's strip naked and go lay on the ground in the Amazon rainforest and see what happens after a couple of hours. Yeah, everything will be, all the bugs, the vegetation, like, who knows what else, panthers or whatever, it's trying to get you, right? I mean, that's one like fatalistic way to look at it, but that paints a really dark picture right there about nature, Yeah, interesting.
Did you notice what happened at his left shoulder over here? Yeah. So go ahead, lift both of them again. A fascial restriction here is causing some serious range of motion issues over here. Now let's drop that down, and I'm going to give him a fascial release. Cody's fascial.
Okay. Check this out, people. Right here. This was interesting about I think I'll talk about urine therapy and fasting and parasites. The part about parasites seems interesting right here.
About fasting. The hardest part about fasting is the urine that you have to deal with. Let me explain. When you fast, especially around day 2 or 3, the worms start to urinate. When they urinate, they basically cause your blood to become impure.
It's not like chaotic truth. But yeah, that makes sense. If you did have parasites, they have to have waste too, right? Bacteria has waste too, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so after a while, those parasites probably would be defecating or urinating, huh? If you do have that in you.
From there, your body goes into a high cortisol fight or flight response state. And this is why typically day 2 and 3 of fasting is so difficult, because you are dealing with all of this urine in your blood and body, not the good kind. And so this is why it's so important to do the master's cleanse every day, the key lime salt, cayenne coconut oil on the empty gut. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's day 1, 2, or 3 of fasting. You always need to do the master's cleanse and eat the key lime, the inside. This is going to help bind and push out those toxins and critters. So remember, when you fast, you're not really depressed, you're just dealing with excess urine. And the more fat adapted.
Yeah, that's what because it can get very depressing. The prolonged fast at a certain stage and frustrating.
We become, and the more we become masters of the fast and the master's cleanse, the less issues we're going to have with the, day 2, 3, 4, 5 of fasting, which I don't necessarily recommend. I want everybody to start off with 12 to 24 hours a day for men and then 10 to 14 hours a day for women. This is how to...
He recommends it's less for women.
This is how to do it, okay? Next to following the 10 health protocols that we have for you in every video and at jacobslane.com. But the base is the master's cleanse and the fasting. Do those 2 things every day. This is how to... And eating the key lime. You can thank me later. Take that bed tonight after every meal as well. Anyway, start to follow these protocols and watch your life change. Get healthy, wealthy, wise. The Healthy Kit, the Health Bible, everything you need to start your healing journey at jacobslane.com. Or hit the link in the bio.
He had a new video where he was talking about smoking machine, about like how smoking itself is not necessarily that bad for you, but only if maybe you take in too much, too frequently. And he was saying that in terms of like what he's doing with his cannabis intake, he takes it. He uses it for cooking a lot. He takes it in that way, with the oils and the butter and stuff like that. I guess in a lot of ways it's very strong too, huh? The weed butter. I'm sure you used that before.
Oh yeah,
dude. I can only imagine with Indian food if they took ghee, it made wheat infused ghee and then cooked with it.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Ridiculous. Yeah. But wheat butter is crazy. Yeah, Connor Murphy's fasting with he was doing some weird protocol though, Neurojack. Connor Murphy. And Connor Murphy is the guy, Machine. I don't know if he became famous years ago where he would like wear like a baggy hoodie and go somewhere in public with his like a nightlife, and he would ask the woman, are muscles important to you? Do you like a dad bod better or whatever? And he's like, yeah, that dad bod's fine, And then he would take off his hoodie and he'd be like ripped bodybuilder, shredded. And then she'd be like, oh my God. So this is how he became famous online. And then he started getting into psychedelics and ketamine and other things. And I guess recently he was found, he drowned himself last week in Thailand. He like just walked into the river or something. And then he was Neurojack. Do you remember what his protocol was? What was he eating? Or his fasting or not eating? I don't know.
Something about injecting gold dust or something.
Yes, that's a good knowledge. Injecting gold dust, yeah. Yeah, you respect him, Nero? Yeah, I always respect people who push to the limits and whatnot, I guess.
Yeah, probably monatomic or something like that.
Yeah. We used to joke about that back in 2011, 12, my study group we had at my house, my friends, where we saw some video where they hinted at the Egyptians, they might have been ingesting monatomic gold in the pyramids and then like shooting their consciousness out into outer space and whatnot, and using the pyramids like some type of conduit for that. But and we'd be like, yeah, they're probably snorting lines off the tombs of like monatomic gold. But this guy was literally injecting it. Literally injecting that. Yeah. So Machine, what do you have next for us on your broadcast?
Well, it's interesting. We did a breakdown of chapter 57, right, of the Tao Te Ching, right, the Lin Chi translation. I gave a series of scenarios about the world technological system or the global industrial system, and what these sort of worst case, best case scenarios are there for how it could turn out, and then we explored sort of the idea of techniques and the connection between technique and the state in the Tao Te Ching, chapter 57, right, of Lin Chi, right? We looked at a bunch of different works. I gave a sort of breakdown of a bunch of ideas from Henry David Thoreau about tools and how the tools are using us and so on and so forth, and how the speed and pace of life is being sped up by technology, and of course he was sort of comparing or sort of comparatively, right, complaining about the railroads, right, the building of the railroads, right, as people complain about the data centers, right. He was kind of like, why are we building these railroads, right? So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
it resonates currently.
Yeah. So I broke down a bunch of ideas from that. And then we got into Samuel Butler, Darwin Among the Machines, and then finally I got some guests on the panel to call in. Very hectic panel, obviously. So I've done that a few times this last week. But we've had some good conversations, and we're going to continue looking at a dozen or so works that deal with the techno-industrial system and tell us about man's relationship with nature and technology. So yeah, we got a huge thing coming up on this show where I do like a sort of review of a bunch of ideas that I think contextualize most of the issues on the show.
That's why it's like it's a great supplement what we're doing here to what you're doing. It corresponds in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
today's show fits right in with everything I'm doing. Yeah, that's why I had to call in today for sure. Because it's definitely a subject that's close to my heart.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Machine, for you coming through, and everyone that hasn't, Nanya, if you definitely needs to stop by. You're definitely a person that would contribute greatly, I'm sure, at the Machine Lies broadcast. And we appreciate you coming here today. Everyone in the chat, Nero, good to see you,
absolutely.
man. Yeah. And yeah, man, just guys, remember that the power doesn't always have to come in a bottle, like a pill bottle, but it comes from this, sometimes just giving your body space to do its thing. What is it designed to do? Repair itself, right? And if you found this breakdown helpful, share it with somebody and try the protocols. We have the links in here too, the different routines and whatnot. But the first hour was high powered. It really breaks down like what happens if you don't eat for 3 days.
Right.
And I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I'm curious. I'm happy to hear that inspired some of you to do it. And the Machine and Abby. I'm curious. I'm happy for you guys to see how it's going to go. And let's go on our double fasting date.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yeah, blessings, my friend. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. But yeah, I appreciate you, and just shoot me a call if you think of anything. But yeah, blessings, brother.
Absolutely, brother. We'll talk to you soon. The Machine Lies, the God of wisdom, right there, bro. Appreciate them, man.
Yeah, peace, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody coming through. None of your business. Nero, Jack, Nanya, you've been wonderful. Nero, appreciate you. GTT. Great contribution. Marilyn as well. She has her protocols in there. She did the 21-day fast and was running for 15 days. That's insane. CM, appreciate you. Here, everybody hit CM up. Let's see if he's live right now. If he's live right now, I'll put his link in the chat so you can go over there and get the wisdom build from brother CM. Let's see. Let me see if he's live. Is he live yet? Not quite yet, but yeah, he'll be live. So hit up CM. Here's his stream. Hit up his live stream in the chat. Some good wisdom builds. But we appreciate everyone coming by. Yeah, we need to learn how to fast. Well, I'm telling you, bro, like we made it. We made it pretty simple right there in the first hour of the show right there. So check it out. Let me know what you think. It was definitely fun times. You'll be fasting again soon. Appreciate you. And like Neuro, take a break, relax. And this has been Gabriel Carbo live at NBC The Game. And I do it for my family. Love you, Rebecca and Ben. Peace.
Shed a shadow on my life. Shed a shadow on the love. To the shelter of my life. To the shelter of a life. See it in your restless eyes. The truth I was hiding. The truth you could not disguise. But I never thought I'd see the day. I knew I'd need a miracle to make it stay. I knew I needed a miracle. shelter of a life, to the shelter of my life. I wish you could shelter me. Shelter me now. I need a miracle. Never thought I'd see the day.
Shout out to Markella. Appreciate you. Heal up. I'm glad your surgery went well. We love you.